All right, we're finally here. All right, we're going to get started here in about 10, 11 minutes. So as you guys are hopping on, I'm just going to kind of make sure that everyone's, that we're live on Facebook and YouTube. We've had tech difficulties before, but it looks like it's working. As you guys come in, again, just kind of remind me where you guys are from, what your experience is with the Princeton Offense, and anything that we've gone over the last 2 days that have kind of like really stood out, blown your mind, really gave you clarity. Let me know in the comments what some of those things have been for you. That will help me out a lot. And I'm going to have to do this again this way. All right, hey everyone, you guys are coming on. My name is John Wheeler. So, how many of you, as you guys are coming in, this is the first time that you have seen? Is this the first masterclass you've seen, or have you caught all three? Kind of let me know in the comments if you've been able to see all three, or if this is just the first one that you've been able to watch. Let's see. Let's make sure we're live on Facebook. I haven't seen my Facebook pop up yet. Watch live. There we go. Boom. Okay, we are live. Good. Awesome. Very good. Awesome. Great, great, great. Again, keep letting me know as you guys come in where you guys are watching from. Nope, that's not what I wanted. What were some of the biggest takeaways you guys had from yesterday? Yesterday we talked mainly X's and O's. We did a review of Tuesday's day one, and what's going on here? There we go. We did a review of two. I've got like, holy goodness! You click on the video and it's just like Inception on my computer right now. The computer screen. It just looks like Inception. There we go. Awesome. What I'm trying to do is get my comments to pop up so I can see them on YouTube. Because I can see the Facebook comments, but I can't see the YouTube comments. See if we can figure this out. Donald back for day 3. Darren, you have a question. You're going to join, but I can use one card. Then I'm going to use another for the remaining 3 payments. Is that possible? Yeah, Darren. Just send me an email, coach@hoopsandDetail.com, or message me in Facebook in the Facebook group. One or the other. Yeah, send that to me, and then we'll get it set up for the first one. Then what I'll have you do is I'll just kind of have you get a hold of me, and then we'll change the credit card information. Yeah, we can definitely do that. Hey Ty, Upper Michigan, new to Princeton. You like the presentation, some of the bigger picture concepts? Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Coach Leon saw all 3. Awesome. Donald back for day 3. You love it. Awesome. David Cobb back for day 3. Chris, this is your first masterclass. Chris, you've been on the last 2, but you didn't see the one we did last September though. That's cool. Okay. Awesome. See, Donald, you ran Princeton for the first time this year. Went 4-11 last year. To 8-2 this year. Awesome. Coach Leon, South Florida. What's up, Facebook? Rob, you've been here all 3. Brad, you've been Brad from Kansas. Nathan from Kentucky. Rob, Melbourne, Australia, day 3. Good Friday for us. Yeah, it's Good Friday for us tomorrow. My wife is a school teacher. She teaches 6th grade. No, she teaches 5th grade. Sorry, she did teach 6th. She's a 5th grade teacher at a school just inside Columbus. So. Hi from Peru. Great performance. Thank you. Hey, Phil. Every single one. Awesome. Let's see. Darren, you've been here for all 3. East St. Louis, Illinois. Awesome. David, question. When running chin, do you ever slip the 5? Do you ever slip the 5 to the basket? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And your 5-man will see that. And if there's no one there, have them slip. They can slip off of the drift yeah, they can slip anytime, and then depending on what you want to get back into, because if I would pretty much just slip and then just stay away because you're going to be driving off of the drift, and if 5 slips, you might have the 4-man might be able to hit them, or the 2-man or whoever's driving off the drift might catch the ball and be driving, and if they can make X5 help, then they can drop it down to the 5. So absolutely, yeah, totally. Yeah, so if you guys do have questions as we're going through this, just type in the comments, type in question before your question. That way, when I'm scrolling through, if we were to take a break and pause as we're kind of going through this, I could, I can kind of sift through the comments, because sometimes you guys are having conversations inside the comments that are really good, but then I kind of get caught up in your conversation, and it takes me longer to answer the questions. So, definitely. Type in question in the comments so when I'm sifting through that I can find those a little bit sooner. I know why that's probably doing that. Let me try to do this. Don't need that box. Actually. All right, again, we're going to get started here in about 5 minutes. Give time for our coaches to hop on. Sometimes it, there we go. Now I can see the comments in YouTube. Boom, boom, boom. I guess, so are there any again, kind of remind me, are there any first timers tonight? Are there any first timers that this is the first one that you guys have seen? See Ben day 3. See Ben takeaways, location on the pitch post and where to have players come together for rub action. Yep. Okay. Good. Yeah, definitely, and that's on the point series. See Chris, your 3rd day, but first full class with you. Okay. Awesome. Okay. Cool. Very good. You guys been able to see the replays? The replays, the replay for day 1 is down. I actually yesterday. If you did not see yesterday's, it's still up. I'll leave it up to like midnight or something like tonight. So when this one's over, if you guys, I'm usually up till 1 or 2 in the morning after these things. So it takes me a little. It's kind of like for me, it's kind of like doing this teaching. It's kind of like game night. You know what I mean? When you after game night, you go out, you grab something to eat, you go home, and you can't sleep. That's kind of how this thing is for me. So. Let's see. Blaine, looking forward to adding Princeton along with triangle offense. Awesome. Yeah, I like blending triangle and Princeton. I've done that before. Because actually, the triangle offense is very similar to Princeton. And Pete Carrill, in one of his videos, he talked about how the Princeton offense would be a great, I heard this from, I think it was Pete Carrill. But they talked about how the Princeton offense would be great for someone like Michael Jordan because it's on the same principles, the same concepts as the triangle, except one of the big differences between Princeton and the triangle is, and when you throw the ball to the wing, in Princeton you cut away, and in triangle you cut over the top, and then your 5-man in Princeton's on the low post, and in triangle they're in the mid post because they try to get a lot of baseline stuff here, and then you fill the top, and then you fill the pinch post in the triangle. So, yeah, I like blending those two. And especially if you have 2 bigs. Again, the one time I will recommend a coach, well, there's 2 times I'll recommend a coach not run Princeton. One, if they have 2 bigs that they're going to play all the time together. And the other one is if you're just not a detail coach. If you're not really into the details, if you really want to if you want your players to just play loose, play fast, get up and down, it might not be the offense for you as a coach. You can run it with any group of players, but sometimes it's the coach and your personality to whether or not running Princeton is good for you. But if you do have 2 post players and you want to run triangle, and sometimes you're going to have to sub 1 big out and put another guard in. So you can run triangle when you have 2 bigs in, and then when you sub one of those bigs out, bring a guard in for that big, boom, pop right under your triangle stuff or right under your Princeton stuff. So that's also a cool strategy. So yeah, I like both of those a lot. I've run the triangle with one group, and of course I've run Princeton for a long time. Jaffe, so see here too, both side coach, great job, thank you. See, who said triangle? That was Blaine. Awesome. Ben, question: as a document nerd, curious what program I use for my playbook. Oh, I think you messaged me about that question. Trade secrets. Trade secrets. I'll message you. Email you back on that one. I just use like PowerPoint. I don't use Fast Draw. I just use like either I've got a Mac, so I'll use like Mac's Word program or Mac's PowerPoint program, something like that. Coach Schultz, Wisconsin. You've watched all the replays? Awesome, Chris. Yeah. I know a lot of you can't watch it live. Coaches are here from all over the world. That's why I mean, we got coaches in Australia and the Philippines, in Germany and Peru and California and awesome, CC. Tom, today may be the most important for I tell you what, and some of you guys saw the course no, it's not the course, but the coaching program I have. I talk about figuring out how to. I mean, the X's and O's are actually probably one of the more easy things about the Princeton, but actually how you install it and the approach to how you install it in practice is really going to determine how well your kids execute it. Absolutely. Okay. As you guys are kind of coming on, kind of let me know where you're, kind of remind me where you're from. Or hey, also, are you coaching boys, girls, varsity? Any assistant coaches in here? Any coaches who are trying to find their first head coaching job? Let me know in the comments. That's always interesting when I find those out too. Laderas from the Philippines, first time. Okay. It's snowing in Ohio today. It was snowing today. It was 70 degrees yesterday, and it's snowing today. I don't know what the weather's like across the world, but in the Midwest, it is crazy. Todd from Montana, and then Todd from Indiana. Awesome. Okay. All right. It's 7:30, so we are going to go ahead and pop in here and get started. There we go. I think I've got my setup a little smoother, so we can go through our slides. So, all right, welcome everyone to the Princeton Offense Secrets. This is day 3 of the 3-day masterclass. So this is it. You know, it's been quite the ride. We've gone over a lot. As you guys can see, I talk a lot. I talk fast, and you can see I'm trying to hold. I mean, sometimes it's hard to hold back because of all of the. You can just go deeper and deeper and deeper into this offense, and I want to make sure some of you, you want to see a couple things that I haven't shown yet, like transitions and phases from one set to the next. The reason I haven't done that is because it just takes us down rabbit holes, and we can really get off topic. They are very important, but because there's so many. What I found teaching this offense to coaches over the last couple years is you kind of have to teach it in a specific way to make sure you have to understand. This is one of those real circumstances where you have to understand the foundation before you can kind of advance a little bit. Because if we go too fast, too far, it's kind of like with your players, they're going to get confused. They're going to get lost in the shuffle a little bit. So I really want to make sure again, and I'll talk about this a little bit later, but again, the reason I'm teaching this Princeton offense the way that I'm teaching it is because I want to solve a problem. And the problem that I want to solve is how do we compete with teams who are better than us? Okay, because I feel like that's the biggest problem we have as coaches. I don't think going to a clinic and pulling a drill from here or a set play from here or a defensive concept from there and putting that into what you're doing, I don't think that solves the problem, the big problem that we have. So that's why I've made this masterclass and it's a 6-hour thing because I want to teach the Princeton offense the way that it should be run, the way that it would be taught. And it does take a lot of time. And now if I were going to teach a read and react, or if I was going to teach a triangle offense, guess what? I would probably teach it the same way. I would go deep into it, just like I do with the Princeton, because even if you run the triangle or if you're reading the read and react, I know read and react's like the real popular one. It wasn't popular when I was coaching, but I know it's really kind of exploding, especially at the high school level. I haven't really seen it at the collegiate or the pro level, but I'm not super familiar with that offense either. But there's 12 levels, 15 levels. Okay, you're not going to run all 15 of those. or all 12 levels, or however he has those stacked up in his triangle or whatever. You're not going to run all of those. But you need to know, in my mind, I think as a coach, you need to know all of those so that you can pick and choose out of all of the read and react stack what's going to match up with the personnel that you have that year. That's why some coaches change their offense every single year to match their personnel. It's like, well, now we have these kind of kids, so we got to run flex. Well, now we have these kind of kids, so we need to run motion. Now we have a hodgepodge, so we need to be more set play oriented. Where I think you can take your system, and the Princeton offense is beautiful for this, but a lot of coaches don't know it, is you can mold the offense to your personnel. Okay, but for you to do it the most efficient and in the best way, I want you to see as much as you can possibly see and understand everything you can understand. That way you can pick and choose the right sets, the right counters, the right wrinkles, and add those into to match your personnel the best. Okay, so what we've been talking about are my Princeton frameworks to learn the offense, to coach the offense, and to fine-tune the Princeton offense so you can finally compete with more talented opponents. I think that's the biggest problem we have. All right, we have to solve that problem. I'm not looking for gimmicks. This is not a gimmick offense. This is I'm looking for there's a big difference between strategy and tactics. When you go to a clinic and you get a nugget here and a nugget there, you're getting tactics. Tactics are short-term actions to try to solve a problem, whereas strategy, an overall strategy, is how are we going to attack the big problem? Okay, and we want to be consistent with what we're doing. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing the way I'm doing. If you guys are new, that's the fam: Hannah, Dylan, Jackson, Paula, Cole, and then if you guys, again, I like giving you guys as much value as I possibly can. If you stay until the end, so I think I've given away the library day 1. I've given away 21 pages of my playbook day 2. If you stay until the end today, I'm going to give you a copy of the practice plan that we build together tonight. Okay, so we're actually going to build out the first practice plan. I'm going to actually take a poll and let you guys tell me what practice plan you want me to build. You can tell me what's one of the offenses that you want me to do you want me to do. So kind of keep this in the back of your mind. We've done low post, we've done chin, we've done point. We're going to do open today. After we do open, then we're going to break down a practice plan. I'm going to let you tell me what series you want, and then we'll break down that practice plan together. Okay, that'd be really kind of cool. And then I will email that to you when we're done, unless I have time to upload it to Google and send you the link while we're still live. That'd be kind of difficult. I'm also, a lot of coaches that were on yesterday, you saw me talk about the big coaching program. This is the rabbit hole. Okay, I've got a bigger coaching program that takes you down the rabbit hole that I'm trying not to go down. It's so easy for me to kind of veer off and start going down the rabbit hole during this 3-day thing, but I want to make sure we stay focused. But I will show you what the members area looks like for the coaches who are getting into that, because I've got a lot of coaches that I had to send invoices to, so you guys could take it to your athletic director. But at the very end of this, I'll show you guys a sneak peek into the members area and everything that's involved in that. Okay, so real quick. Day 1 review. All right, we went over 10 crucial concepts, and those were the first ones. We're going to take the tension out of the game. We're not going to fight our opponent's strengths. We're going to be open. We're not going to get open. We don't V-cut in Princeton. We don't believe in V-cutting. We don't want to fight our opponent's strengths. Having good vision allows communication and action. And having good vision means these concepts flow from one to the other. So when a player is open, can the ball handler see that they are open? Okay, if they can see it, they can make that pass. Okay, if they can't see it, that's when you start to have problems turning the basketball over. All right, so we have that. We talked about being open. Okay, going to a spot on the floor where you can be open, where we can make that pass. And if they're denying you way the heck out there, having the vision to see that they're not open will let us make quick and confident decisions so that we can say, okay, low post isn't open, let's run chin, or let's run the next thing, whatever the next thing is. Okay, we want to make the offense flow. That's spacing, that's cutting, that's screening, and that's being consistent on the way that we do that. Watch the guy or gal in front of you. They will tell you what to do. That's how we rotate and fill in our offense. We're always going to go backdoor first. Okay, we teach the back cut first. We go backdoor 9 times, and then at 10th time they try to cheat you on the backdoor. Then you go over front of them. But we always want to go backdoor. It's selfish because you get to score. That's the quickest way you can score as a cutter. It's unselfish because it gets the next player open. It's selfish because then you can score again in the post, and it's unselfish again because you're letting the offense flow. You're letting the offense move. Okay. Number 7, there's always a next step in the offense. If in theory, and no matter what we do in the Princeton offense, there's always a next step. I hate set play offenses. For me, I've seen teams do a great job with them, and I've been on teams where it's just like, it's like, oh my God, we can't run. But what happens in a set play offense? If this is what happens, all right, kid tries to run, coach calls a play, kid echoes it. Hey, let's run Kentucky, run Kentucky. And then you've got 4 other players on the floor who have to go and run and go find their spots. Because in a set play offense, everyone has a specific spot. Okay, and then we try to run the play. What happens if you run into a defense that's just good, that's a good scouting defense and takes something away? Maybe you make a pass, you can't make the next pass, you throw it back at the point guard, or the point guard's on the other side of the floor, and the point guard's got to come back and get the ball. Okay, he's got to look at the coach. Coach, that didn't work. What do you want to run now? And coach calls out another play, and then he calls out the next play, and then everyone's got to go figure out other. That's kind of like I'm exaggerating a little bit, but that's kind of my problem with set play offenses. With the Princeton offense, there's always a next step. They flow seamlessly from one to the other to the other. If you're running Princeton and if you've had trouble transitioning from one part of the offense to the next, okay, that's something that I really emphasize that we try to fix to make sure the offense flows well. Number 8, don't give your players numbers. Don't number your players. They're 4 guards, 1 post. Okay, and at the highest level, all 5 are interchangeable. But at our high school level, for certain, 4 guards are interchangeable. Okay, we don't try to box our players in and say you're a point guard, you're a shooting guard, all 4 of our guards are guards. And we try to develop their skills that way as well. Call plays what they are. Don't call a whole bunch of random names or try to be tricky. Just call them what they are. Low post. Now, there are some exceptions because of some of the counters and audibles and stuff that we have. But for the most part, low post corner, low post cut, low post screen away. All right? Point screen over the top, point down the middle, point over the top, point screen over the top. Just call them what they are, okay? And then the last thing is emphasis and repetition. Your players do what you emphasize, and they do what they do over and over and over and over. Okay? If they're not getting enough repetition and they're not executing in the game and they can't remember the plays, that's our fault. That's your fault, that's my fault. If they can't remember the plays, you have to remember this. It's your fault and my fault. Okay, we are not getting them enough reps, okay, in practice. If they cannot remember, if they can't run the plays. Okay, I was an assistant coach, and we had like a 4-round 1 motion, and then we put 3 or 4 set plays in every single week. For me, you guys can see I was kind of pulling my hair out on the sideline. Great coach. He did it. I mean, one of the best coaches I've been around that actually works with his players. But the frustrating part was for me is we didn't get enough reps with a set play, so we could never run them in a game. Or the first time we made a sub, okay, we just didn't get enough reps, and that sub would come into a spot that they didn't know, or everyone else would know, and one kid didn't, and then we couldn't run the set play. Then we'd all right, pull it out and run motion. Okay, unfortunately, we had some pretty decent players that could make some plays, but that's so frustrating to me. Okay, so those are the 10 big the 10 crucial concepts. Again, the big problem we have is there are 3 different types of teams on our schedule. 1, teams that we are clearly better than, that we should win. We don't always, but we should. The second team that we're going to see on our schedule is teams that we're fairly evenly matched with. Talent-wise, skill-wise, we're pretty evenly matched. Those games come down to execution. The first type of game comes down to focus. If we play to our level and not down to their level, and usually that's focus, then we should win that game. The team that executes the best, makes the free throws, the layups, is going to win game 2. And then the third type of team you're going to see are the teams that we are just extremely inferior to. They are just clearly more talented than us. Okay, I feel like if we can have a strategy that we can attack and compete, and maybe we don't have to win all of them, but if we can win half of those games against those teams that are better than us, okay, that's going to better prepare us to beat the teams that we can out-execute in scenario 2, and it's going to help us be more consistent in our focus and winning the games that we're supposed to win. Okay? 2 ways to win: superior talent with a good enough strategy, or a superior strategy with good enough talent. Okay? Unless you're Steve Collins, you're not going to get that superior talent every single year. Okay? And I think it's for a lot of us, it's trying to find out a strategy that and then developing our players and getting good enough talent that we can compete at the level that we need. But we need a smarter way to play. Sorry, Coach Collins, I keep picking on you. Okay, so there were 3 secrets that we talked about yesterday. 1, how to simplify the Princeton offense and control tempo without putting in too much or becoming predictable. Okay. And being predictable is actually sometimes a good thing, because if you have counters and you have audibles and you have wrinkles, you can do something predictable and throw them a curveball and boom, you got them. Number 2 is what we're going to be talking about today, is how to install the Princeton offense the right way the first time without monopolizing valuable practice time, because there's a lot we have to get done in practice. And then the 3rd thing we're going to talk about at the very end today is how to get your players to consistently execute the offense without hiding role players, which I hate hiding role players, or alienating your star players. Okay, 'cause sometimes a star player wants the ball, and we have to have conversation with them sometimes. Okay, hopefully not all the time, but that's most of the time. Okay, so that was day 1, and here's the 3 secrets. So day 2. So yesterday we talked about the biggest mistake we make, that we complicate the offense by we put in too much too fast. Okay, and when we install the sets that we want to in the wrong order. Okay, or we choose the wrong core series to build our offense around. Okay, and sometimes that just comes from lack of knowing you just don't know what you don't know. You don't know all of the options. Once you see all the options, then you can pick what's right for you, and that's what we're really trying to do. So we talked about the low post series, the chin series, and the point series yesterday. There they are: low post, chin, point, and open. Open we're going to talk about next. And then you can see on the slide there's all kinds of phases. Now that's 6 phases. There's probably 30 or 40 or 50 of them, but some of the big ones, that's a rabbit hole. Okay, we talked about forwards out opposite yesterday. The rest of that's a rabbit hole. The flash series, the circle series, that's a rabbit hole. That's going to take us down somewhere that we could be talking till 2 in the morning, and I can do it. So the X's and O's are really important. That's what we're talking about here. Those are actually what the diagrams in my playbook look like. I sent you guys the link for the 21 pages. And then how we organize. We talked about how we organize the Princeton offense. So you have your core sets and series, which is the core 4, which is what we're talking about today and yesterday. You have your different entries and false motions. You have your different phases and combos, how you go from one core set to another core set. Then we have our counters and audibles. That's how you go from anywhere inside. So now imagine you have 4 boxes, and let's say we're inside the chin box. Okay, now if you want to jump box to box, that's a phase, that's a combo. But if you want to stay inside chin and they take something away and we do something else, well, that's a counter or an audible. A counter is a defense takes something away, and audible is a player's decision. Okay, and now we stay inside that box a little bit, and they can blend over a little bit. I get a little bit picky, but trying to make this easy to understand. And then we have our wrinkles and misdirections, and we have our extra sets and series. Okay, so this is all the stuff that we talked about yesterday. You can run this offense easily at different tempos. Everyone thinks this is a slow down offense, but the reason, and you have to go back into the history. This is why sometimes I talk about, I go back to Pete Carrill and Bill Carmody and Joe Scott when I talk about these guys. The reason it has this stigma is because growing up, when we all first start learning the offense. Now, a lot of you might have been exposed to maybe Richmond first, and when you think Richmond, you do not think slow down offense. Okay, but when you think Princeton, you think slow down offense. You think Air Force, slow down offense. Okay, if you've seen other high schools run it, it might have been a slow down offense. Okay, but that's because they don't have the talent to compete, so they have to slow it down and control tempo. But if you run it like John Thompson III at Georgetown and Chris Mooney, then you can ramp it up to ludicrous speed when light speed is too slow. There you go. Now you can see it. Yeah, when light speed is too slow, you can run the Princeton Offense at ludicrous speed, and that's kind of like what NC State did it with Herb Sendek. That's what JT3 did. That's what Chris Moon is doing. So, all right, okay, that's all of the review. So let's go ahead and jump into the open series, if you guys don't mind. That didn't do what I wanted to do. There we go. Okay. That's so touchy. Okay, there we go. Boom. Okay, now we're back. All right, so I saw a question. How can you flow Princeton in the dribble drive? Great question. That's a rabbit hole. Ryan, I hear you. That is a rabbit hole. Yes, you can do it both ways. You can go from dribble drive to Princeton, from Princeton to dribble drive, but that is definitely a rabbit hole. That would take us down with Alice in Wonderland. So, but I'll talk about that here in a little bit. So, okay, so the open series. Now, before I talk about how we get into open, okay, I'm just going to show you the series. I'm going to show you the X's and O's because there's different ways that you can run and execute the open series. And there's a couple different ways you can set up the open series. All right, but basically what it is, it's a 5-out series with a 5-man at the point, at the top of the key. Okay, you've got your two guards on the wings. I mean, foul line extended if you want. Okay, I kind of like that between foul line extended, between 3-point line extended, somewhere inside this area. Okay, and then your 3 and the 4 dead in the corner. Okay, that's one way to run it. Now, I'm going to put the defense out here so you guys can see, okay, why this can be so difficult to guard. Because when the ball is in the middle of the floor, right, and everyone's spread out, there is no help side. Okay, when we broke down low post yesterday, I talked really about the most difficult thing about high school basketball. It's so compacted, right? So we have to circle the defense. We throw the ball in the low post. We circle the D. We try to suck that defense out. Now, right now, we've already got the defense out of the paint. Okay, so Jim Burson over at Muskingum University, when he coached, he calls this the guard. He calls where the 5-man is the garden spot. Get the ball here, things start growing. All right, get the ball there, and things will grow. All right. And I really like that because it's really true. So basically, okay, so here's the first way. So you can play open. I also have another way that we would run this. We would call it open, and then I would call it tight. Okay, I would say run one or the other. The open tight works really well. I would say especially for the girls, but go open or open tight. So this is open. Now look where the defense is. Now watch what happens when I go open tight. Okay, now the one thing, now if you have a 5-man that's really good at driving, really good at dribbling, okay, I would go open and spread it out. If you have a 5-man that's really not good at driving, but is really good at passing, that's probably what I would lean to what I would call open tight. So here's what tight is. Look at the 1 and the 2 are going to come way up here into the chute, just a step below, and the 3 and the 4 are above foul line extended. Okay, and this is open tight. Okay, this is beautiful because watch this. Okay, the 1-man's got to come here, 2-man's got to come here, 4-man's got to come up, 3-man's got to come up. And just look at where we brought the defense to. Now, if you've got shooters, and these kids they feel uncomfortable, and they play real low, and we go one way and we go back door, and just look how open they are. Okay, that's just stepping into. That's just just real easy looks. Okay, but that's exactly what. So you can run it either way. Okay, let me just kind of take it through with you tight real quick. So the goal is, we'll kind of see where they guard us. Okay, the 5-man can go right or left. They can go right or left. Okay, and what I like to do, I mean, you can just catch it and rip and go, or I can juke them right, but wherever that you want your guards to wait on the dribble. Okay, they can cut a split second before, or they can. I actually like cutting late because the later you cut, the higher the defense comes out to guard you. So you'll hear Princeton coaches say, "Hey, cut late, cut late, cut late." So if we go right, okay, and when we cut on this, we can cut on the bounce. We can cut it like a split second late. If we can get behind our guy and on top of the next one, boom. If you've got a good passer, there's no one down here. There's no one down here, but you do have to have a good passer, and because you're tight, you do have these defenders who are closer together, okay? But you're going to get this back door really easy, okay? Now, if teams sag off of that, if this 1 and 2 are really sagging because they don't want to get back door, or maybe they made this adjustment, when I go right this time, instead of going back door, I'm gonna. You remember how we set the screens and low post screen away and point screen away and point over the top? Okay, I'm not gonna V cut and then come get a handoff. Okay, but I'm gonna like walk straight into the 5. I'm one step away. I'm gonna walk straight in. I'm gonna juke, and if they're playing sag, I'm gonna juke and then come over the top for a handoff. Okay, and we'll try to get that 5-man and get inside the 3-point line. So get a handoff and then boom. Now we've got a shot there. Then we can run something else in the offense, some other action. Okay. All right. What that looks like if we're in open, what I would call open spread. I'd say open. Hey, spread it out. Spread it out. That's kind of how I would talk about that. And you can see now there's more space. There's more driving space. Okay, but the backdoor principle still stays the same. So if we go right or left, and we boom go this way, and I would go ahead and creep your guys to the 3-point line now. Because now we're in our offense. We want to tell your 5-man to try to drive the elbow. Everything you do, try to drive the elbow. So juke right, get that guy here, try to drive the elbow. Okay, and then we're going to walk straight in. Or if our 2-man just comes high, you don't have to walk straight in, but now we'll go back door. Okay, now if we can get in front of the 4-man, behind our defender, in front of the next defender, okay, there's a good shot if you get the layup because there's no way these 2 kids can help. Okay, because that 5-man's got one dribble, boom. And these kids cannot get there in a second and a half. They can't react that fast. Okay? How they usually stop this is this 4-man kind of gets in the way. 4-man plays a little bit higher. All right, so when they go back door, either that or the other thing they'll do if you're not good at driving, this is another way they'll guard you, is this 2-man will kind of play in the line of your cut. So when you go back door, boom, you all get a piece of them and they kind of ride you. That's another way that they'll guard you. And that's okay. You just keep running your offense. You'll be fine. Okay, you're not going to get backdoor layups every time you run this. Okay? And then what happens is, let's just say we get backdoor, boom, but we don't get the layup. But if we get in front of the 4's natural tendency is going to boom, I got to go down and help this. Because the 2-man we might have beat the 2 backdoor, but X4 might have come down and been the helper, so we couldn't make that pass. They got in there and hands and stuff. But because 4 dropped down, okay, our next guy comes up, boom, we kick it to the 4. Okay, now before I go, there are so many different ways you can run this. Okay, I'm just going to show you a simple way of going back door and running through the offense, and I'm going to show you a simple way of coming and getting a handoff and running through the offense. Because you can do similar things. You can do. There's so much variety here. But again, if I could spend probably 2 hours just talking about this series alone, all right? Okay, so that's what it will look if we go back door and we hit the next guy. So let me take the defense off so we can actually go through the X's and O's. So start over. 5-man's got the ball. We're in open. We're gonna jab step right, go left, boom, go back door. Here's an I shouldn't say it's a concept. It's a principle. Anytime a guard is dribbled backdoor from the wing, so we have a guard on the wing, and they are dribbled, keyword dribbled, backdoor, they are always going to come back into the post. Okay? Now you might ask, well, Coach, can we just send them through? I say, yes, you can. But this is one of those areas that if you're not consistent, your kids are going to do it the wrong way at the wrong time. Okay, so be consistent. So anytime we dribble a guard backdoor from the wing, doesn't matter if it's the big dribbling them backdoor or if it's another guard dribbling them backdoor. And you'll see this throughout the offense. I don't know if I'll get to it in all of this, but anytime a guard is dribbled backdoor, they return to the post. What happens is when they go backdoor, that 2-man's trying to deny so hard. When the 4-man fills and we hit the 4, boom, we just step up and the 2's behind him, and now we post up. This is how we get open off of backdoors into our post stuff. So now we're going to zip it down in there, and now we can run our post. Now we can run kind of like low post with a guard. Now, is this help side? Where's the help side? If the help side's here, go score 2-man. So we teach all of our guards to post up. Okay? If they're in here like this, maybe we don't throw it down there. Okay? Or if we throw it down there, there's other things that we can do with our offense. Okay? We can change our 5-man. We can do all kinds of neat stuff. But That is also a very advanced way of running the offense, so I wouldn't recommend that. If you throw it down here, trying to make a move, we'll try to get back into our offense in a way that's simple, not real complicated. Again, that's a rabbit hole. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, okay? So the 5-man threw the ball to the 4, and the 2-man posted up. The easiest way to run this, and this might look familiar if you watched the class yesterday. 5-man's going to go set a ball screen. 4-man's going to come off the ball screen. The 5's going to roll, and 2-man's going to twist. Okay, so the 2 twist, the 5 rolls, and actually I will walk these 2 up before that ball screen even happens. Okay, these kids are in the corner, I'm going to walk them up. 3-man foul line extended, 1-man lane line extended, something like that. So when we have this ball screen, we're coming off the ball screen, I've got roll and twist. So I've got option 1, option 2, or on the backside we'll set a flare. We'll just step right in because X1's on the midline probably. Don't even have to set them up. Just backpedal and then you have a shot there. You don't have a shot, boom, drive it to the basket. Okay, this is the exact same thing this is point down the middle. When we did point down the middle yesterday, exact same action. Okay, so when you go open, so how do you simplify the Princeton offense? Okay, I can't see you, but I don't think light bulbs went off because I don't think I explained it well enough. Or if I would have taught this yesterday, you would have seen it back to back, light bulbs would go off. It's kind of like when we taught point screen away. Once we got to the drift, all right, let's say you've already taught chin, and then you teach point screen away next. Once you get to the drift, light bulbs should be going off. Eyes should be getting wide. Players will be going, oh, this is chin, coach. We ran point screen away, but we ended up in chin. Okay, so when you're teaching point screen away, you don't have to teach any more further than that. They already know how to score off the drift. All right, does that make sense? Let me know. Does that make sense in the comments? Let me know. So this is how the Princeton offense can get to the same action in different sets, different ways. So one of the big things that we're going to be talking about today in practice plans is how do you simplify the offense so it doesn't take so long to teach in practice? Well, if you teach chin, you have a drift, you have the shuffle, and you have the drift. Okay, and then if you're trying to decide, well, what else do I want to run? Well, let's run point screen away. Because point screen away, okay, now you're going to teach the intro. The entry to point screen away is new, is different, right? The screen, the back cut is new. The ball screen is new. The down screen is new. But then the drift screen is the same thing as chin. So at that point, you don't have to teach them how to play off the drift. You already did that in chin. So I would teach chin, and then I would teach point screen away because they both get into the same thing, and I don't have to keep teaching. Okay, I just have to teach the beginning part of point screen away. Once we get to the drift, you don't have to teach anymore. All right? All right, does that help you figure out how you can run more than one set, but not teach too much, not teach too fast? They're getting to the same thing, but they're getting different ways. And it's not necessarily getting to the same action a different way, as it is getting different defenders off of that action throughout your offense. One defender might figure it out, okay? But once you start picking on weaker defenders or less disciplined defenders, all right, that's going to be that's a huge advantage of what we have with the Princeton offense, okay? It can be robotic, and you would think it's like, well, if we're getting to the same thing a different way, it could be predictable. But think about it. There's probably 5 ways we can get off of that same drift, and I've only told you 2: chin, point screen away. There's other ways to get off of that drift. Okay, then we can start setting double drifts. Oh, then we can just go down rabbit holes, and I need to stop, or else we're going to be here until 2 in the morning. All right, so we've got this flare on the backside. If the 4 does not throw the flare, and maybe the 2-man's open, then reverse it to the 2. 5-man comes back in the low post. Let's just say we screen out, just pop out of there, 3-man. Okay, 4-man threw it to the 2. All right, let's cut through. Let's fill. Boom, now we're in low post. Boom, back cut, circle the D. Fill. All right, boom, 5-man, go make a move and score. Okay, so there I just showed you how to go open back door, right back into low post. Okay, the same way when we did point down the middle yesterday, we can get right back in. It's the exact same action as open. So if you were going to run open series, but you wanted to run point, all right, and you're going to run open backdoor this way, which version of point should you teach? Okay, I would teach point down the middle, because point down the middle, the same action is going to be the same action as open with a back cut. Okay, open, dribble, and backdoor, you can get into the exact same thing with a flare on the backside and everything. Okay, so chin and point screen away go together very well. All right, open, when you go backdoor and point down the middle, go together very well. Okay, so if you're trying to simplify, if you're trying to choose what to run, okay, this is why knowing the whole offense, is really important, because coaches will just take parts of the offense here. No, they'll see someone else run, they try to run it that way, and then they wonder why their kids can't execute it, because everything looks different to the kids, because they're not putting the puzzle together. That's simple. Does that make sense? Did I explain that well enough? If I did not explain that well enough, please let me know. Okay, I hope I did. So that's open with a back cut. Okay. I will tell you. I will show you how to get into open at the end of this, and when I do, I'm going to blow your mind. And then you guys, I mean, when I teach you how to get into open and how to do that, you guys are going to be, what's that movie, Limitless? Like, everything's going to be possible now. You guys are going to see the whole picture with just the core 4 stuff. Okay. It's good, Chris. Awesome. Phil? Yes. Good. Okay. Now let's do this again. So let's run open, but let's come get a handoff instead. Let's say they're running a pack line. Okay, they're really packing it. They're not giving up any back cuts. So now let's pitch it. Now again, there's all kinds of stuff that you can do. Okay, there's so many different things you can do when you come get a handoff. But if I wanted to stay consistent, which is what I recommend, and this is what I teach in the coaching program to coaches who jump in there, they go through it. When we went through that 8-week thing, you want to be consistent with what you teach. Okay, so if we went back door, these two guys started creeping up, right? So what I would say is every time we run open, whether it's a back door or a handoff, let's always, so here's the handoff, let's always creep up these two guys. So when we catch the ball here, we've got a shot. Okay, our 5-man can slip. All right, we've got a flare on the backside, which might be your first look because it's going to happen first now. So the actions are the same, but the order, this happens first now instead of the ball screen and roll and twist. Okay, and if you don't have the 4, boom, you have your 3 popping up from the corner. Hit your 3, cut through, 5-man come to the post, fill. Hit your 5, boom, back cut, circle the D, fill, low post corner, low post cut, boom, fill the wing, fill the point, fill the wing, point wing corner. Get in there and make a move and score. Okay? Is that pretty cool? So open, whether you go back door or whether you get a handoff, you can be consistent, do the same thing. That way, because you can do this different ways. You can go open back door, and you can go open, go back door, pop, and then ball roll twist, and you can not flare on the backside. Some coaches will just do this. Some coaches will just down screen or just interchange to try to occupy that defense, because they would rather have this player coming off that drive and trying to score. They would rather have that than hitting a flare on the backside. Okay, depends on your personnel, what your strengths are. Okay, if you want to leave these guys out of it and let these guys run this 2-3-man game, or if you want to run flares on the backside, that's completely up. I think that's a strategic move, a strategic decision that you have to make with the personnel of your players. Ryan, question: what works the best to go point into low post? Low post is one of those ones, I would say, point down the middle, because we just did that, right? So remember, open going back door, open. We go back door, we fill. Okay, open back door finishes the same way point down the middle finishes. Okay? So when we come set this ball screen, boom. We roll, we pop, reverse it back, boom, you're into low post. Okay, if this were point screen over the top, it would look, if this were point down the middle, it would look like this. Hit the 5, boom, go down the middle. Here's your down screen. Does that player look familiar? Come off here, boom, ball screen, roll, twist, reverse it back, cut through, low post, boom, circle the D, pop, low post corner, low post cut, low post screen away, whichever one that you run. Okay, answer that question, Ryan. I know it's kind of fast, but that's the gist. Okay. Any questions about open? Okay. Without getting too complicated, how do you get into open? Okay. Some of these sets go well with any set. Low post goes great with any set. Low post flows in the chin very easily, flows in the point very easily. Low post does not really flow into open directly. Okay, but chin flows into open very directly. So let me show you that real quick. So let's say we're running chin. And once I show you this one time, you're going to be able to see how light bulbs should start going off after you see this. If you don't know what's coming, 2-pass reversal, shuffle cut, drift. Okay, now let's say two man's not there's multiple ways this is going to happen. I'll show you two ways real quick. Let's go ahead and hit the drift. Okay, let's drive. Let's kick. 5-man off the drift. Fill the point. Boom. Hit the 5. Pop out. You're an open. Got it? Okay. Let me back up here. 2-man's coming off the drift. 2-man's coming off the drift. 2-man's not open. Here's the 5. This is why we go back door first. This is why this is one of those crucial concepts. 2-man's not open. When they go back door, what happens? What's a X5 do on a back door? They're the next helper. Or 2-man's chasing, so someone's got to help him. 5-man goes down to help. Boom. 5-man pops to the point. We go away from our defender. Boom. Snap to the 5. Boom. Pop. You're an open. All right. Who's having light bulbs go off in their head right now? Let me know who is having those light bulbs really kind of going off in your head right now. So anytime there is a what, you can easily get into open. All right, anytime there's a drift, you can easily get into the open series. Okay, so the next question is, where are all the drifts in the offense? Ben, bing, yeah. Jerome, very good, yeah. Right, so now, without me walking you through the rest of it, if you come up with the answer, you're going to learn faster, right? I'm teaching you the same way we teach our players. That's what we do. Where else is there a drift in the Princeton offense? A drift just like the chin drift. What's the other one that we've already done? Right? Phil's got a light bulb. I'm still waiting for the answer. Point screen away, right? Point screen away. Ball screen, drift screen. Yeah, Ben's got it. Away. Point screen away. Gets into the exact same drift. Then you can flow right into the open series. Okay? Point over. No, not point. Now, I should say this, Ryan. Yes, if I take you down a rabbit hole, you can do it. But the way that I showed you yesterday, no. Because point over the top and point down the middle, they unbalance the floor. Okay, there is a way to balance the floor and doing it, but you have to change a concept and you have to look at you have to change a principle, and you have to change. I need to write that word down, principle, because that's going to help me teach later again. It's going to change the way that you might do something somewhere else in the offense. Excuse me, and you want to be consistent. Okay. So point screen away and chin are the two big ones, okay? But anytime you get to that drift, there is one other one that I haven't talked about. But again, I don't want to go down too many rabbit holes here, okay? One thing that I did not get to yesterday in the point series, I told you that there are two ways to run point, right? I only showed you one. So, well, I'm sorry. There's like 5 or 6 or 7 ways to get into point, but I only showed you one. I was going to show you two. The first one's wave them through, right? Wave this guard through, step back, boom. Like that, right? Here's the other way. I actually like this way better because I like this way as well because it's quicker. especially if you're not bringing the ball to the floor, but you're trying to reorganize. But if you want to, if you can also throw the guard to guard and yell point, because here's the 5-man. And you have to yell now. Here, this is one of those things where communication is very good. You must call the play, call the set before you make the pass. All right, so your players need to know this. Because if I don't say anything and I throw the ball here, what's my 5-man assuming that we're running? Chin. All right, because we have chin here. That's if you have chin. If you don't have chin in, okay, hey, this might mean low post. Throw it here, throw it here. That might mean low post. Okay, that's where communication comes in. So depending on what you are running, and I would just say it's good practice to verbally say what you do before you do it anyway, except the one to the wing. Everyone knows that one. That's low post. Okay, but I'm going to say point, point, point. Throw the guard to guard, and my 2-man's going to catch it, and then boom, ball fake it to the 3, or ball fake it to the 4. Because what's the most scouted play that we run? Chin. Okay, and that looks exactly, so 2-man's going to boom, fake it this way, but that's also going to give the 2-man some space and the 1-man time to make their cuts. If 1-man passes it, boom, they're on a hard cut, and they're just head hunting right for the 5-man. Boom, chop your feet, boom, break out, 5-man comes straight up the lane line, 2-man went ball fake, so they didn't have to dribble, or they could pass fake, take one hard dribble, whatever, and then boom, now we're coming back to the point. 3-man's got to empty out. Boom, now we're in point. Right? Got it? Okay, point screen away. Boom. Chop your feet. Boom, go back door. 3-man. I like, instead of coming straight down, I like to kind of V so you get a good angle. Boom, pop back out. Boom, ball screen. Hit the 4. Drift screen. Oh, no, he's not open. Back door. 5-man pop. Boom, now you're in open. Boom, go back door. Hit the next guy. Ball screen. Roll. Twist. Flare on the backside. Zip it back to the 1. Zip it down to the 5. Low post. Boom, circle the D. Right? Isn't that fun? So for real, I will do this the first time you have a lot in. Once your players get really good at this, or the more that you put in, you'll catch yourself doing this. I've done this. I've seen other teams do this. But I will go. All right, guys. Let's run. Let's throw the guard to guard. Run point screen away. Let's get into open. Go back door. Get a ball screen and twist. Throw it back to the wing. Get into low post. Screen away and see if we can get one back door. You'll say all of that just like that. Your players will look at you like, what? I say, just start it. You guys will figure it out, and they will. And they will. It's really cool. Once you have the language and the vocabulary in, and they have enough reps that they've done everything the right way. That's how Princeton teams run things over and over and over, and how they get from one set to the other so quickly. Okay, so there's so many options. That would be a phase. How we go from so we went point screen away into open. That's one core set to another core set. That's what I call a phase. All right. No one else ever taught me that, but that's how I define it. So we phase from one set to another. Then we went open back door, and then we went straight back into low post. All right. So we phase from open right back into low post. There were no counters, but it was a direct from one point screen away to open to low post. So we hit 3 of the 4, and you saw with me doing this, it only took about 15, 20 seconds. You could probably get through all of that with your kids in about 20, 25 seconds. So coaches who think that you can't run this with a 24-second shot clock, you actually can. When Pete Carril went to consult an assistant coach with the Sacramento Kings, they tested it against a 24-second shot clock, and they were able to do it every time. Okay, it just depends on how much of it you get to. Okay. All right, any questions about open or anything that we did? I hope that was really valuable, because after you saw that, the whole thing should just, light bulbs should be going off, and all of that. Okay. Okay. If we don't have any questions, I'm going to real quickly. Is it okay with you if I show you guys the rabbit hole real quick, and then we're going to build the practice plan? Is that all right? Guys, let me know if that's all right. We're a little quieter in the comments today. Am I wearing you guys out? A little bit quieter in the comments. I know I'm moving fast, so I know most of you are probably taking notes and writing down. But remember, you can go watch this again, okay? And then tomorrow around this time is when I'll probably take it down. But I know most people are taking comments, but please let me know. Is it okay if I take you guys down a rabbit hole real quick? Let me take you down this real quick. Chris, no. Yes, no. Let me take you through this. I'm going to fly through this, and then we're going to break down our practice plan. Ryan wants to see dribble drive into Princeton. I tell you what, Ryan will do this, and I'll show you real quick how I do dribble drive into Princeton. I did not plan on showing that, but Chris rabbit hole, Phil rabbit hole, awesome. Todd, sure, awesome. Okay, I'm going to do this real quick. Then we're going to come back, and just for Ryan, I'm going to show you how we get the dribble drive into Princeton, how we make it real easy. I love the dribble drive offense. I love the triangle offense. I love the Princeton. Those are my three favorite. Of course, Princeton's my favorite. But they all three, you can teach them the same way or very similar in a progression method that makes sense. Okay, and actually they're all more structured than you think. Okay, triangle is when you watch Chicago Bulls or Lakers run triangle, that is the most difficult, that is the most extreme level of running it. It's kind of like watching Princeton run Princeton. Okay, it's very extreme. That's the highest skill level you're going to see those two offenses run. Dribble drive is actually very structured. It's very structured. Players have freedom to go make plays, but the way that they drive and loop and pitch and skip and duck in, it's very structured. You can do a lot of things out of it. Okay, Wendy wants to see dribble drive. Wendy, I think you emailed me or you asked me somewhere else about that. So let me go down the rabbit hole. I'll sneak in that dribble drive into Princeton, and then we're going to go into practice. We'll do a practice plan together. So I want you guys to let me know when we do the practice plan. Do you want me to do the low post practice plan, the point practice plan? We'll pick one of the three. The chin practice plan, or do you want me to do day one of the open practice plan? Okay. All right. Everyone wants to know dribble drive into Princeton. So awesome. Okay. So that's the open series. So, all right, so let's go down this rabbit hole real quick. This is kind of one of those classic red pill, blue pill things. I just saw that and I was like, I got to put that in the slides. Okay, so again, like we said yesterday, if you were not here yesterday, okay, warning. This is not again. I'm not a I'm not a one-trick pony. I want to teach this offense the way that the best in the world are running it. I want you to understand the entire thing. So it's not a 45-minute. I mean, I'm going you 6 hours for free, for goodness sakes. It's not a 45-minute training. It's not a $37 DVD program. It's not 4 hour Zoom. This is definitely much deeper than that. So here goes my Princeton wow moment. So what I have, the rabbit hole, the program I have where I take you down every single rabbit hole and I hold your hand the entire way so you don't get lost. Okay, is we did an 8-week workshop last September. All the way through September and all the way through October, I think to the first or second week of November. It actually ended up being 9 weeks because we did a prep week. But each week we did a whiteboard session for 2 hours, or actually 2.5 hours a handful of times. So there's over 20 hours of Princeton on this board, over 20. And this was all the stuff that we went through. And we went through it in a logical progression. And you guys can actually kind of see down there, I think if you can see week 7. All we talked about was triangle in Princeton and dribble drive in Princeton. How do you do that? So you guys are going to get a sneak peek of that. But we went for 2 hours talking about that. I'm going to do it in 5 minutes. So I'll just give you the real short version today. Also, we broke down film each week for an hour and a half. So there's at least 15 hours of film, and these are the games that we broke down. Richmond, Air Force, Nebraska Wesleyan, we broke down like 2 films every night. I took a hodgepodge of my practices. We went through those. But I tried my best to pick out different Princeton coaches so we could see the difference in the way that they ran it, like the Air Force, Georgetown. Week 5, I've got Air Force versus Duke and Georgetown versus Duke. And they were 1 year, I think Georgetown was like 05 and then Air Force was 06. Georgetown ran 3 Princeton sets the entire time. I've never seen more backdoor dunks than I did in that game. And they beat Duke. And then Air Force, they lost Duke by 10. They were severely outmatched, but you could tell the different styles of Princeton. Okay, Stanford women. Okay, so anyway, so we broke down film. Then we also did some bonus sessions, some breakout sessions. These topics were not all offense. We did practice plans in this one. We went real deep into practice plans week 1 and week 2. But we did Princeton versus zone, our offensive transition, a whole bunch of secondary break stuff. I didn't think I was going to like week 5. I really liked week 5. We talked about the matchup zone that Princeton run, baseline out of bounds, stuff like that. Okay, that's what that was. So everything inside the workshop with the whiteboard, the film room, the bonus sessions, it's more than 45 hours of training, okay? I also have another Facebook group, not the one that you guys are in, and this is just the Princeton coaches that are in this group, so we talk about a little bit more advanced stuff where they'll ask a question, I will go into the rabbit hole there. Okay, the group you're in now is a rabbit hole free zone, just because because I don't want to mess anyone up. And I'm sincere. I'm not trying to keep anything from you. I just don't want to mess anything up. I want you to understand the fundamentals here. It's really what this is. If you don't understand, some coaches were worried that day one all the concepts and philosophy was going to be the same old, but you guys can see how important that was to day 2 and day 3. Okay. So everything in there. So now if you don't use Facebook, that's okay, because we do a lot of stuff in Facebook. Everything that we do, we record and put into a members area, which I'm going to show you at the end of this as well. And again, my whole goal with this is to solve that one big problem. Okay, I'm not trying to just teach you one part of the offense. This is the one place where you can learn all of it, and then you choose what's best for your players. So on top of all of this video stuff, I also have a digital package, all right? And this is, now you all have the 21-page playbook from yesterday. This is a 90-plus page book, and this is something that I'll keep adding to. Right now it's around 90, 95 pages, something like that, and I'll keep adding. So when you go through and look at the playbook, the 21-page playbook you got yesterday, add 70 pages to that, okay? And just kind of imagine what's in there, okay? I've also started putting together a video playbook, so sometimes if you're in the workshop, one of the problems with the workshop is sometimes you don't want a deep dive, but you want a specific answer to a specific question. If you find that in the playbook, there's a video for it in this module right here. So you can be more pinpointed, so you don't have to go watch an hour and a half of week 1, week 2, week 3 to try to find the answer. It's going to be more. So here, I've got 6 hours of this in, and I think I'm through like 50 pages. 60 pages, something like that. So I still have to add to this, but this is an ongoing program. This is not something that this is not something that you get and then you never hear from me again. Okay, I'm very involved in this. So there's 6+ hours of this right now. I also have 19 practice plans that are done. We're going to do one today, but I've got 19 practice plans that are done. We'll talk about that a little bit. And the practice planning is probably one of the most crucial parts of this. I've got breakdowns now. Again, I do not, and I will beat you over the head. Do not put this offense, do not teach the offense 3-on-0, 4-on-0. Okay? But you can do it 3-on-0, 4-on-0 if you turn it into a shooting drill or a driving drill. Okay? And you have to have strict parameters. You cannot let them get all loosey-goosey when they're doing stuff 3-on-0, 4-on-0 because there's 2 defenders on the floor they don't know about. Okay? So you have to be real specific about this and turn it into a shooting drill. Turn it into a driving drill. Turn it into something like that. Do it 3-on-0, 3-on-3, but you have to have rules. Do not teach the offense with this. But teaching it, breaking down 3-on-0, 4-on-0, you can do it. That's what that's about. Here's all the skills and drills that we teach for the first 30 minutes. Here's the actual practice plan for that. Here's my favorite offensive transition. And everything I do, it's all progression based. So first thing's open, do that. That one's taken away. What's the next thing? That one's taken away. That's the next thing. That's how we run our offensive transition. Okay, here's my core zone offense stuff that we do versus zone. Okay, that's not necessarily Princeton versus zone, but this is the core stuff. In the workshop, we actually did a breakout session, Princeton versus zone, how we ran chin versus zone. And we also did a couple other Zooms that are recorded in the members area about zone. So the playbook, the practice plans, the breakdowns, all of this is included in the digital package, as well as the recordings for this 3-day class. So some of you are asking about how do you get this 3-day class. When I take the videos down, the videos are actually going inside the members area. So if you wanted a refresher on a more fundamental level, before you go deep dive into the rabbit holes, you can come back and watch this again. Okay, that's all available in there. All right. Okay, all of that together. The sales people, the sales professionals told me with like how many 50 some hours, like you need to charge $1,000 for that. I thought that was a bit much, but it's probably worth it. I tried. It's kind of funny. I kind of tried to see, because when I was trying to learn the Princeton offense, I started traveling the country. I went to Air Force Academy. I tried to say, well, how much is it to go there? There was no Uber back in 2007. And then I've been to Richmond. I've been to Muskingum here locally. It's a little closer. It didn't cost a whole lot. All of the Princeton stuff I bought from Championship Productions. All right, that's how much I spent in probably Princeton stuff only, not including all the other stuff I have. And I know we all do this. And this is not counting all the coaching clinics, Nike clinics, all the camps and stuff that we go to. We all spend a lot of money, but specifically, I've spent over close to $4,000 just learning the Princeton offense. So $997 seems pretty reasonable to learn the whole thing. To get the workshop, it's like 45 hours in the workshop. Then there's like another 12 hours into the digital stuff, and then it's not $997, but it's $497, or 4 monthly payments of $137. Which that part, after it closes Sunday, I'll probably take the 4 monthly payment plans off of the table, just because it's kind of complicated on my end and with all the bells and whistles I have to do to make that work. But it's $497, and this offer is going to close Sunday at midnight. Okay, so Sunday night at midnight, it's going to close down. To get this, you go to PrincetonOffenseSecrets.com/secrets. And again, there's something else I can give you. And I got 2 more bonuses. This is one of my favorite fundraisers that we did when I was a head coach. It's a community service fundraiser. It's an offline. It's not one of the online. It's not a GoFundMe. It's an offline. It's a fundraiser with a personal touch. And we would do anywhere from $4,000 to $8,000 with this. We did it with our girls one year and our middle school, and I think I can't remember. It was over $10,000 that we did combined. But this was the best fundraiser that I ever did. And I hate fundraising. I always tell my parents, hey, whatever you guys want to do, you guys want to do it, organize it, you guys take care of it. We're also doing so. I think one of the most valuable things with this is in the Facebook group, you're going to have personal access to me. If you don't have Facebook, we're going to do Zoom meetings. Now, we do these in season. I actually started this towards the end of last season. It's kind of, last season was weird with COVID and all that. But once we get in season, once practices start next fall, I'll do a Zoom every single week. We record every one. I'll list the topics that we talked about, and I will put it inside the members area so you have access to the whole library of our Zoom calls. And then also, because summer is coming, a lot of the coaches in the group are asking about planning for this summer. We're going to be doing some Zoom calls every couple weeks leading into June and July, or especially leading into June and a little bit through June, so if you're going to camps and clinics and stuff like that, that we can help you install the offense. If you're having your own camp, and you're putting in Princeton, we'll do some Zoom. So if you have specific questions, you guys can do that. So anyway, so that was that. I think that's the quickest I've ever gone through that. So you go to PrincetonOffenseSecrets.com/secrets. It's $497. It closes Sunday night at midnight. You can also right now, it's probably the last time I'll do the monthly payments if that's too much in one chunk. But that's where you go to do that. Can someone put that in the comments for me? PrincetonOffenseSecrets.com/secrets. And then if you have to have like an invoice or a purchase order for your school, send me an email, coach@hoopsandDetail.com, or if you're in Facebook, just send me a Facebook message. Okay, and then I will send that to you. I'll get that to you as soon as possible. So if they want to use the school credit card or send me a check, we can figure all of that out. If you want to use PayPal, send me a Facebook message or send me an email if PayPal is easier for you. Okay, so send me an email if you have any questions about that. Send me a Facebook message. It's PrincetonOffenseSecrets.com/secrets. Okay, all right, I'm done. All right, back to the practice. Back to the game plan here. Thanks for letting me do that. That's the rabbit hole. So if you guys want to go down the rabbit hole, there are. Get back to me here. There are In my mind, there are 3 ways to learn this offense as deeply that I've learned it. 1, go be a player at one of these Princeton Offense schools, Richmond, Air Force, Nebraska Wesleyan, the other one that I'm thinking of, I can't think of, Richmond. Go be a player there. Go be a coach there. And if you guys go look at their coaching rosters, usually those coaches are former players. They are real sticklers about keeping this stuff in-house. So they hire their former players to become their coaches. Or, spend 10, 12 years deep diving in it, becoming a head coach, executing it. And you'll absolutely get there. But those are the 3 ways that you can do it, other than going through that rabbit hole of a program that I've got right there. Okay, so cool. So secret number 2. How do you install the Princeton offense the right way the first time without monopolizing valuable practice time? So what I need to do is I need to find my practice plan. I'm going to drag my practice plan over here. All right, we're going to pull it up. So in the comments, did you guys decide, what you guys wanted to see, dribble drive real quick. Did you guys decide on what series you wanted me to build the practice plan on? Go ahead and let's put those in the comments. Do you want me to do low post, chin, point, which version of point, or which version of low post, or open? Guys, put that in the comments, and then we'll build that practice plan. Let me just show the coaches who want to see the dribble drive real quick into Princeton. I'll show you the quick way of how I do it. Pay close attention. All right, so dribble drive, the big differences are is we're going to be flying down to the corners. Right, and our 5-man is going to be opposite. If you do it the way that the Kentucky guys do it, I mean, your heels are almost out of bounds and you're outside the lane line on the backside. I mean, you're literally like this, your 5-man. Okay, now I'm not going to break down the dribble drive because I can do this for an hour. But your point guard's first goal is to get in the drop box, and as soon as we're inside this box, if you have players that travel, jump stop in here, and we're going to loop, what we call a loop, right? We're going to go from the corner to the wing, and it's going to be a sprint. We're going to kick it here, and we're going to fill the outside corner, okay? That's our first look. Now, the second look is a 3-man driving middle, okay? And this 2-man, this trailer, usually your best scorer, they're always out here for a pitch, so we can always just pitch it to the 2 and they can drive, right? But the 3-man is now going to drive middle, okay? Then you're going to have this option of this pitch. Okay, that's a dribble drive action, but we're not going to get to the pitch. We're going to skip that pitch for now. You can run the pitch and run this over and over again until you get into Princeton. But what happens on the drive middle, what do we do on the weak side? Because X4 is down here somewhere, is we're going to sprint up and we're going to throw a skip pass. Right? Now on that skip pass, X5 was here, so our first look is boom. Coming down in, is looking for the 5 inside the paint or inside the low post. The 3-man is going to kind of take 1 or 2 steps, Ryan, Wendy. They're going to take 1 or 2 steps. Our 1-man's in the corner. And our 2 is going to pinch behind them. Okay, I call that like a pinch cut. Okay, they're going to go backdoor behind the 3. And what does that do to X3's defender? Oh, we went backdoor. X2's chasing. I got to go help on the back door. Boom, your 3-man pops open. Okay, so now you've got 1, 2, 3, and now we're on our low post stuff. All right, boom, snap it here, boom, back door, circle the D. Okay, low post corner, low post cut, low post screen away. Okay, that is the easiest way to get from dribble drive into Princeton. Kevin, screw dribble drive, we came here for Princeton. All right, I love it. Okay, all right, so let me go through the comments here, and then we'll work on the practice plan. So I've got point, screen away, chin, low post, point, low post corner, point, screen away, low post, open series, screw dribble drive from Kevin, Coach Kevin. And Facebook, it's chin, it's point series, it's chin. Phil, love the zooms, awesome. Gino, thanks. Yeah, oh, that was for Todd. Okay, yep, the 21 pages. Thanks, Todd, for putting that in. Did someone put in the? Let me put that one in there. Okay, so let's do point screen away. Everyone wants to see point screen away. Let's do that one. Let me do. Before I do that, let me do this real quick. Here is the link if you guys want to go look at the rabbit hole afterwards. There's the link for the for that program. Okay. Boom. Okay, let me can you guys see that? Is that clear enough? Is that big enough? Do I need to zoom in? Let me know. Really follow me along in the comments here so that we can so that I can answer any questions you guys have. Make sure that you guys can see this, because sometimes when I do this, I forget to scroll. Okay. Okay, awesome. Looks good, looks good, looks good. Douglas, put that comment again at the very end. I'll give you that link at the end. Okay, all right, so day one. Let's see. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's say points of emphasis. What are we, I like this. What are we emphasizing today? Okay, I'll always list a couple that we can, okay, I'll always kind of put stuff like this, topics these are when I put stuff that we want to emphasize, we're emphasizing our concepts from day one. Okay, and we don't have to, whatever the concept is that you want your players to focus on, put that in their emphasis so you talk about that all day long. Okay, all right. So let's say that we're doing 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock. I usually do. Again, let me know if I ever forget to scroll or something like that. 3 o'clock to 3:30. That's 30 minutes. That's skills. And then at 3:30, we'll begin the offensive portion of practice. Okay, so let's say that this is day one of practice, but we've already in the locker room. I try to do stuff we come out. I'm one of those coaches. I will not come out onto the gym floor and waste time stretching. I don't know if anyone else does that. I do not like to waste time in practice. So if you want to stretch in the locker room. If you want to get a little bit, if you need more time to get loose, stretch in the locker room. Go in the hallway, high knees, stuff like that. We'll do some dynamic stuff once we get in the gym, but it's always with a basketball. I do not like wasting time in practice. You guys will see this as we start doing this. So we're doing point screen away. And I will send everyone this practice plan when we're done. Hopefully it gives you guys a lot of value. So as quickly as you can, again, I've got a little bit of a like a 15-second delay, so we'll try to do this. So please comment, try to answer these questions as we go. What is the first thing that we need to teach in point screen away? And it's going to be the entry. Okay, how do we enter point screen away? All right, and we might talk about this. And I am very sincere. Day one, we are not going to do a lot, but we're going to do a lot of what we're doing. Okay? Translation, repetition. Okay, we are going to get a lot of repetition. We're going to build our foundation. We need to make sure that the first thing we do it right. Okay, so I'm just going to put in, we'll do for 5 minutes on the very first thing. Okay, we're going to do point screen away. We're going to do the entry. So we're going to teach them how to wave. We're going to wave the guard through. Okay. Sometimes what I'll do with this practice plan, and if you guys, okay, so if you go to hoopsindetail.com/library, you can go download this blank practice plan. It's a PDF, so you have to print it off. I've got to find someone that can help me. Oh, you know what? I actually think I did that. Turn it into a Google Sheet. I think I did that. I did that for my coaching program for the Rabbit Hole guys. They've got that. And if you don't have that, Phil, let me know. I'll dig it up and I'll make sure I put it in the members area. But we're going to wave the guard through. But what I'll do is I can, sometimes I'll drag quartz on here. And then when I print this off, I'll go hand draw in the X's and O's. Sometimes. So we're going to wave the guard through. So what we're going to teach them here is we're going to teach the 5-man hands up, step back, and then we're going to teach the 2 and the 5-man interchange. We'll just call it the rub. Is that what they call it? Rub cut. I never really called it anything, but we're gonna call it a rub cut. Or you guys, what do the Nebraska guys call this? That little interchange. I can never remember it. But just that 2-man, that 5-man interchange, that little rub cut, and the 5-man gets open. See see what's here. Let's go back to this, and with the 5 getting open between elbow and 3-point line, right? Okay. And also in this 5 minutes, we're teaching the point guard to, and this is the detail stuff that you have to teach. Okay, so this is something that you can kind of show. I would show my 1-man I would probably show my 1-man what to do first. But what we're going to show our 1-man to do here is to juke sideline, and then cross over to the middle. And the goal is to get to the point. I'm just going to kind of reorganize that. Okay, so this is what we're teaching them in the first 5 minutes. Now you might need 7 minutes for this. Okay, and what my advice would be when you're doing your practice plans on day 1, spend more time than what you think it's going to take, because 9.9 times a brush cut. Thanks, Douglas. Brush cut. I like brush cut better. I always used to call it a rub cut or a transition, whatever. I like brush cut better. Okay. It's easier to spit out of the mouth. Okay, so we're going to teach them to wave the guard through. And as soon as the 1-man waves the guard through, the next thing we do is the 1-man is going to square up and juke their defender to the sideline, right? And then we're going to cross over and start going to the middle of the point. Now, while we're doing that one-on-one action, while we're juking and going one-on-one with the 1-man, the 5-man hands up, steps back. The 2-man is head hunting, all right, for X5. They run a brush cut. The 5-man gets open between the elbow and the 3. And the 1-man gets to the point and no further. All right, do not cross the point. All right, we get to the point, and the 5-man's getting right here. Okay, and we will legit spend 5 minutes on this. I tell you what, I will actually, when I go into the members area, you guys will like this. So when we're done with this, we'll go into the members area. I will show you one of my practice videos. And I will, because I'm gonna tell you how we do it. I like having. What is your philosophy on? This is a big question. What is your philosophy on who's in the gym for your varsity practice? Okay, how do you guys do that? I'm gonna tell you how I do it. I take my varsity guys, and then I take my best 3 or 4 or 5 JV players. Usually it's 3. Sometimes it's 4. But I like having 12 guys in my gym at one time, because if 1 or 2 guys are sick, hurt, I always have 10. And I also like this. This is not, there are many right ways to do it, but I like coaching my best JV players as much as possible, because when my seniors graduate, the kids that I coached and the kids that got to compete against varsity kids and practice all day are more prepared for varsity the very next year. That's my own personal philosophy on that. I think that, and then the big, but coach, what about chemistry? When we do team meals, when we do all of our extracurricular stuff, those JV kids go down with the JV kids. They sit with the JV kids. They hang out with the JV kids. They, all of that kind of stuff they do with them, but they'll practice with the varsity. And then everything that, when we do Princeton, all three groups run Princeton, freshman, JV, varsity. But our varsity will run what the freshman JV run, but then we'll run more. So basically what I'm teaching those kids at this level when they go down and run the JV stuff, sometimes I'll have to go spend 15 minutes with the JV guys to kind of get a little bit of stuff going. But usually I'm coaching 3, 4, or 5 of the JV starters in my practice, depending on numbers. So if I've got 7 varsity guys, I'll take 5 JV guys. Okay, and it's usually the 5 starting JV guys. So take that as you guys will. But so let's say for the first 5 minutes, this is what we work on. Okay, now, okay, I got to switch back. 3:35 to 3:40. I might go back and adjust these times a little bit, just because I think we can do that first thing in 5 minutes. You might be able to do it in less, but you're going to be teaching some concepts. You're going to be making sure everyone kind of gets is real clear about what you want to do. So if you're going to schedule time, day one, schedule a little bit more time, a little bit extra time. Okay, so what's the next thing that we do? Okay, so we got to hit the 5. Hit the 5. Let's say, actually, let's say up here we're going to hit the 5. Okay, once we hit the 5, what's the next step? What happens after we hit the 5? Okay, just kind of you guys talk through it in the comments. Talk to yourself about it, but what's the next? I guess, okay, back up a little bit, not real far, but what we're doing is we're teaching this in progressions. Okay, we are not going to show our players the big picture. Okay, the big picture will appear in time. So there is a level of trust right now between coach and player. Say, listen, we're going to teach you this step by step. I'm not going to show you the whole thing because they're not going to understand ball screen, drift screen, getting to open, go back door, all that. They can't see all that. It's too much. Okay? Ryan Wright, screen away. So the screen away is the first thing that's going to happen. So point screen away. And what we're going to do, what's the first action that we're going to teach? Hit the back door, hit the back cut for a layup. Okay, so we're going to do this for 5 minutes. Okay, this is the beginning of how we get a lot of reps on our offense. We're going to run point screen away. We're going to wave the guard through, juke him sideline, crossover middle, hit the 5. We're going to go boom, go screen away. We're going to go back door, and the 5-man's going to hit the kid back door for a layup. Okay, so the 5 hits the 3 for a layup. And we're going to do that for 5 minutes. Okay, now here is my rules on rotations. I've got 5 kids in, and then I've got 5 kids. I got 1 kid filling each line. You guys will see this in my video. I'll show you guys the video here after we get done with this. So the second that we're scoring, the next group is in with the basketball going. So we are very quick the way we transition from one's end. Hey, once you're shooting that layup, next group goes. Okay, now the other important thing is, so if I'm drawing this out, where 1 man's here, 4 man's here, 3 and the 2. It's kind of how I visualize it. Hit the 5. Boom. So here we're screening away. But we're going to walk in, and you're going to have to teach them this. Before you rep it, you're going to have to teach them the technique. So teach 1 man how to screen. You teach 1 man how to pass it to the 5. Teach 1 man how to turn, chop their feet, and screen. All right, you're going to teach the 3 how to walk straight into the screen. We are not V-cutting. All right, these are all little steps you have to teach. Chop your feet, boom, go back door, and then we're going to tell our 5 to hit that layup. Okay, and as soon as they're out, the next group's in. Okay, except this time, I want to make sure, now, blue started on this side. Now I want the ball to start on this side, so we're working both sides of the floor. Make sense? Okay, so 5-man's going to be here stepping in, 3-man's here, 4, no, don't worry about the numbers, but kid here, kid here. Now we're going to wave this kid through, and we're going to hit the 5, now we're going to go screen away on this side. Okay, and what you tell your players, it is their, I will say, hey, I want you guys started from both sides. Now, if you run point guard from the right side, next time you run the point guard, run it from the left side. Okay, never run the same. Now, I say you can run the same spot twice in a row, Okay, but we're doing this for 5 minutes. You've got to on your own. Players' responsibility. We cannot micromanage everything in the gym. Your responsibility, players, figure out how to rotate. And I wouldn't even structure it that way. I wouldn't even figure out how to rotate. It's okay to go twice or 3 times in a row, but make sure you run. Make sure you, Jimmy, Julie, make sure you you run the spots that you need to run. And it's your job to learn it. Okay, I'm giving you the time, giving you 5 minutes to rep this. You get the spots that you need so that you know every single spot. That's on the player. Okay, it's on the player to run all the spots. It's on the coach to give them the time and make sure that we're getting a lot of reps. Okay? Cool. Okay. The reason we do it 5 on 0 first is also for timing and flow. Once we get really good at 5 on 0, we'll start adding defenders onto it. Okay? All right, so that's the first thing we're going to do. So the next thing we're going to do is 340 to 345. So for the next 5 minutes, and again, I'm just kind of being bland with the 5 minute thing. You might want to spend 6 minutes. You might want to spend 7 minutes. Okay, but I think 5 is pretty good starting point for day one. What's the next thing? Okay, so this is the way you have to think as a coach when you're running this. So where am I going? So now the back door is not. So the back door is open. We're going to hit it. That's why we did that for 5 minutes. Now the back door is not open. Scroll down. Thank you. Thank you. I need you guys to tell me that too because I'll forget. Okay. So now the back cut's open. So we hit it for 5 minutes. Repetition. Now the back door is not open. What's the next step? Okay, the next step is, let me get these guys off here. Boom, 5 has the ball, 1 screening, 3 went back door, boom, 3's not open. What's the next step? The 1 man popping back. All right, now, you say 1 man popping back, that's what you do. Okay, then you're going to say, hey, 4 man, you're going to come down, I like to V to get an angle or a little circle cut, but I want their butt facing the wing where they're going to get them open. Okay, so 1, you're popping, 3, you're on a dead sprint, and then they can slow down here, 3 man, and I'm teaching them this at the beginning. 3 man, you're going to slow down this. 3 man, you're going to come off of this. You're going to start to come off of this, which actually, they're not going to get to it. The next thing is we're going to throw it to the 1. We're going to get a shot. That's going to be the next step. So actually, the 3 man. So you and I know the big picture here, the timing. If the 1 doesn't get a shot, 5 man setting the ball screen the same time the 3's coming off the 4. That's the timing. So you don't have to explain this part to the 3 man yet of timing. You just tell them the 3 man, boom, go back door, and you're coming off of a down screen. That's all you have to tell the 3. Tell them to slow down a little bit down here under the 4. Okay, but the 1 man's going to get a shot. You tell your 5 man, hey, 5 man, after you throw it to the 1, you're setting a ball screen. Okay, but what we're going to do for 5 minutes in our practice plan is italicize off. Point screen away. Hit the screener. Shoot the 3. Okay, and no joke, we're going to do this for 5 minutes. Okay, so you have to teach the 3 man is getting down screen from 4 so that they can see what's happening next. And the 5 man is ball screening for the 1. All right, makes sense? Dorian, question, is there a practice plan for low post corner in the members area? Yes. Okay, so going back down the rabbit hole, in the coaching program, in the workshop, there are 19 practice plans. So what I did in the practice plans is the first 7, there's 7 practice plans. And those practice plans are me. This is how I would go into a practice, putting everything in. I'm putting in low post. I'm putting in point. I'm putting in chin. I'm putting in open. Okay, I think I get to all 4 of those, and I think I put all 4 of those in, or at least on my way to having all 4 of those in 7 days. So when you're saying, "Oh, can I put this offense in 2 weeks?" Well, I can do it in 7 days, and I wanted to show you how I would do that in practice plans. So the first 7 practice plans are the first 7 days of me putting everything in, and then I go through the core 4 series, the core 4 set. So I've got 3 practice plans on low post, day 1, day 2, day 3. I've got 3 practice plans on point series. That's all point over, point away, point under. Day 1, day 2, day 3. I've got 3 on chin. Day 1, day 2, day 3 practice plans on chin. Day 1, day 2, day 3 on open. Okay, that's in the members area. That's part of the program. Okay, and this right here is just day 1 of point screen away. All right, because I would teach point screen away, and then we would, and if I were to be completely honest, when you're putting in the point series, now unless point is the only thing you're running, if you're not running chin, if you're not running open, or you're only running point, put in point screen away, put in point over the top, put in point down the middle. But if you're going to run more than one series, put in point screen away and put in chin. Okay, put in point screen away and put in open, 2 that flow together well. Make sense? That's crucial. Darian, stop taking us. Sorry for taking us down a rabbit. No worries. I tell you, it's fun. That rabbit hole is fun. I had one coach. I don't know if he's watching. I'll just do this real quick. He asked. He wanted to talk, so I zoomed him in September after like day 2 or day 3. We zoomed, and I said, "Well, what's your knowledge on the offense?" He started talking as I listened. He's like, "You really don't need this program, but you're the kind of coaches you will have a lot of fun inside this program," and he really did. So, because that rabbit hole is fun, baby, it really is. Okay, all right. So this is the second thing. Okay, we're going to hit the screener, popping back. Hit the screener, popping back, shoot the 3, and that is a reverse pivot. Sometimes you put in notes so that you make sure you know the technique, because we're teaching the technique, and then we're going to rep it. So now we're going to get first 5 in, boom, point screen away, hit the guy, pop back, shoot the 3. Next 5 in from the other side of the floor, point screen away, go back door. Back door's not open. Let's hit the guy popping back for a 3. Okay. All right. So let's do the next thing. 345 to 350. Okay. Point screen away. What's the next step? What's the next step? Ari, it isn't. Yeah, Ari's in the program. Ari, it is in there. The practice plans. Yep, awesome. Thank you for reminding me. Todd, so to get to the members area, you pay the $4.97. Yes. Yep. Thanks, Phil. Yep. So point screen away. So now, okay, let's say we hit the back cut. Okay, back cut's not open, so we hit the screener popping back for a 3. Okay, now we hit the screener, but they can't get the 3 off. Okay, what's the next step? Okay, what's the next step? And this thought process should help you no matter which one you're running, whether it's low post, chin, point, whatever it is. If you think about it step by step, this is going to help you build your practice plans. So for me, the next thing that's happening is the ball screen. Okay? Ball screen and down screen. But here, okay, so here, let's go back to the board. So we don't have the shot. Okay, now we're teaching the ball screen. I would teach the ball screen, down screen first. Now, there's always going to be decisions that need to be made. Okay? So the decision's going to be based on your personnel. Okay, are you running, and this is really important because you want to make sure that you rep it the correct way. Okay, you want to make sure you rep the actions that you want to see in the offense. Okay, depending on your personnel, some teams that want to run this offense more up-tempo are really going to want to focus on this ball screen and roll. Okay, if you want to run it up-tempo and you want to give your kids freedom, hey, we're going to ball screen, we're going to set that screen a little higher, we're going to ball screen and get in there and play. Some coaches will, if you want to run up-tempo, if you have players that can make plays, this might be how you want to do that. So in your practice plan, we're going to say ball screen, down screen, but let's ball screen and roll. Let's get the 1-man layup, or let's get the 5 minutes. Let's get the 1 driving and hit the 5. Okay? that might be the next thing for you. Okay, this goes to your personnel, your team, your personality, your style, up tempo or deliberate. Okay, so some of these decisions I can't make for you. Okay, but if you wanted to run up tempo and if you wanted to focus on the ball screen and roll and see if you could get here, boom, you've got that option. Okay, all right. If you want to run the offense all the way through and be more deliberate, this is what it would look like. Let's come off the ball screen, and we're going to teach the 5-man. 5-man, you're going to follow the 1. All right, 3-man's timing this up, so 3-man's coming off the down screen, and we're going to hit the 3. Okay, decision time. Here's another decision. Okay, what do you want to rep? Okay, do you want the 4-man to shoot the 3, or do you want the 3-man to shoot the 3? Because we can go point screen away, ball screen, down screen. Let's hit the 3 for a 3, and let's do that for 5 minutes. Okay. Do you have a group of team that are not good 3-point shooters? But are you good in the post? Hey, let's hit the 3 and shoot the 3 for 5 minutes. Okay, next thing is let's hit the post. And let's go score in the post 1-on-1 for 5 minutes. Okay, see what I'm saying? And then if the 3's not open, if the 4's not open, what's the next thing we look at? And that, boom, that's the drift. Okay, and that's the drift. So let's come back to our practice plan. I didn't lose anyone there, did I? Did I lose anyone? Because what I'm doing is some coaches will say, well, there's not enough scoring opportunities in Princeton, and that's when I go bowl. There are scoring opportunities all over the place. Okay, but that's a stigma that Princeton gets because the teams that run Princeton run it because they have to run it more deliberate, because they don't have the talent, and they're working for the best possible shot that they can get. They will turn down layups sometimes for wide open 3s. Okay? And that is a strategic thing that they do. They'll turn down good shots for great shots. Okay? So what we can do is we can go ball screen, down screen, and then we can go 3-man. You can do down screen, hit the 3. Let's see here. Let me just put it down here. Option 1, you could do 3-man, shoot the 3. You can go, and this is actually how I'll draw this up in my practice plans. I'll go, you got 4-man in the post. And we'll do our slide hooks. Slide hook series, which we do we do a series of skill work the same way that we do our series of offense. So we take our offense through a natural progression. We also do the same thing with our skill work before. So actually, before we ever get to doing post moves in our offense, we are doing post moves, the exact same post moves that we're going to see in our offense, we do in our skill work part of practice. Okay, all of that's in the members area too. And then the third thing is it 1-man? Yeah, 1-man off the drift. Now, and we could say, shoot the 3. So what I can do, yeah, let me know. I want to make sure I scroll up. So what we can do is I can say, hey, now that we're at this junction, this is for me and your coaches. You're the only one that are going to see this. Did I scroll enough? You guys see? So I might say, hey, we're going to do this for 15 minutes. So 3:45 to 4 o'clock. 3:45 to 4 o'clock. So 15 minutes, we're going to do this. Okay, but I'm going to break these down into 3 sections. That 3-man's going to shoot the 3. That 4-man's going to score in a post. And then the 1-man's off the drift. Okay, does that make sense? Now, if you do not have a team that you want to throw the ball into the low post, scratch this one out. Okay, if you don't want to do that one, don't do that one. Okay, then make this 10 minutes. Or I'm sorry, let's see. Let me back up there. I wanted to do the post one. Maybe you don't want to throw it in the post. Take that one out. Let's do this for 10 minutes. Let's do 5 and 5. Got it? Does that make sense? See, Chris, you're not losing me. You're repeating each step over and over, then adding the next letter. Absolutely. So Again, there are more options than you might want to rep. Okay? Make a note of that. There are more options. You might not want to tell your players to look at every single option. You might not want to shoot this three. You might not want to score in a post. You might want to go straight to this one. You might not want to do this one either. Let me just do this. Scratch that out. Scratch that out. Maybe the only one you want to get to the drift. Maybe you want to ball fake in the post, but you want to get right to the drift. Okay, so let's do this one for 5 minutes. Bugs the snot out of me right there. Okay. But I'm going to leave these up here. I'm going to cross them out and leave them up there so that you guys can see that those are scoring options in the offense. But they might be simple enough. Now, if you want to feed the post, you need to rep that one. But to tell that kid to shoot the three off that down screen, you don't really have to tell them to do that one. It's not my favorite three to shoot in the offense, and I'll tell you why. It's because the three-man is sprinting off of a down screen. A defender is chasing them. They're going away from the basket. They got to catch it. Boom. They got to catch it, turn, and I just feel like there's a lot of speed, a lot of movement, a lot of stop, a lot of go and stop to try to pull up and shoot that one. So it's not my favorite three to shoot unless they're wide open. Okay, it's not really a very rhythm oriented three. Okay, but I would feed the post down here because if five man's a threat, if their five man play high and their one man's chases over the top, this is scouting. Okay, or maybe second time around, how do they guard us on the drift? Do they chase us or do they go underneath? Does X5 stay high or does X5 stay low? Okay, because if they stay high, all right, and here's X2, I'm going to feed the ball in the forehand, and I'll look at that area. Boom, can we get in there? Okay, so you might want to set your drift a little bit higher. I mean, that's why, okay, so I don't want my five man on the elbow setting this drift because look where X5 is going to be, right? So I want that five man maybe above the elbow a little bit and see if X5 will stay up here with me. Okay, because the focus is on this drift, and I can feed the ball in the low post, and then we've already taught our guards how to score in the low post. Boom, boom, slide, and then all right, let's score over there. Okay. All right. Right, so let's keep going. I'm going to try to keep scrolling. Guys, just keep letting me know if I need to scroll. Okay. Craig, yeah, if you just jumped on, this replay will be up for 24 hours. So around 7, 8 o'clock tomorrow night is when I will take it off. Okay, so let's go. So we did 5 minutes where we're off the drift and we shoot the three. Okay. And actually, let me do this. I'm going to change this up a little bit just for organization. Let's say we did 5 minutes and we scored in the post. 5 minutes scoring in the post. I like throwing the ball to our guards in the low post. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do this one. This is the one I'm gonna do. Out of the two, I'll cross out and out. We're gonna do that one. So now let's go to 350. And let's go 5, 10, 15. So what time did we start? We started at 3:30. Day one, I might spend, here's something that when you are, sometimes when you're trying to decide how much time to spend on defense versus offense, you have to look at the personality of your team. If you have a soft team, do not cut any corners on defense. Emphasize defense. Do defense first. Do more defense if your team is soft. Because my philosophy is that the defense is your identity. The defense that's who we are. Okay, you cannot take that. That's who we are. Our defensive mindset is our identity. Our offensive mindset is our brand. Okay, so if you have a team that's soft, that doesn't like playing defense, I would emphasize more defense than offense early on. Okay, but if you're running a defense that's not terribly complicated, but again, I do my defensive practice plan the same way as my offense, step by step by step. We just build up to it. Okay, so depending on how much time you want to spend on this, I might go 40 minutes just so we can kind of get as much in as possible in this first one so you can see the full progression. So I'm going to do 10, let's go to 4, 10. All right, so let's do this next step for 20 minutes. And this is our drift. Our drift series. Okay, so 20 minutes. So what's the first action off the drift? What's the first action off the drift? Shoot the 3. We're going to do this for 5 minutes. We're going to run point screen away. We're going to ball screen, down screen, hit the kid. Now we're going to bounce off the drift. We're going to hit the drift. We're going to shoot the 3 for 5 minutes. Next group goes, next group goes, next group goes. All right, for the next 5 minutes, all right, the second option, and actually I tell you what, because I'm going to go 4 minutes because we got 20 minutes, so we got 5 things to do. So the next 4 minutes is we're going to drive and score for a layup. And we're going to drive 2 different ways. One, you're going to drive straight, and then we're going to drive hezzy drive. Okay, we teach them both. I talked about that yesterday a little bit. All right, the third one we're going to do is we're going to dribble at back cut. Right? And when I say dribble at, I want to drive the elbow. And we're going to hit the back cut for a layup. Hit the back cut. And we're going to do that for 4 minutes. Next group go, next group go, next group go. Do the same thing for 4 minutes. All right, the next option off the drift series is we're going to give and go. Okay, now on this one you have different ways you can score on the give and go. The reason we give and go is because the defense is sagging off that drift. That 3-man, off here, so we're off the drift. Or it's a 2-man situation. X2 is down here. Boom, I'm gonna catch it. Boom, zip it over there. Okay, so you have 2 different ways you can score here. One is a shot, or 2 is pass back to the drift cutting or slashing. So we give it, and the X1 is chasing. Boom, 2 closes out. Oh, 1 cuts here, and then boom, give it back to him, slash into the basket. Okay. And then the next way, the last way, number 5, is drive and kick. All right, now, again, same thing. You have a shot in the corner, or I like 1 dribble pull-ups to the middle. Okay, so when we drive and kick, I can drive and kick for a shot in the corner. I can drive and they can replace, and I can kick and get a shot on the wing. Okay, or either, doesn't matter if I hit them in the corner, either way, or if I hit them on the wing, they're always going to drive middle, 1 dribble, 2 dribble, pull up for a jump shot. Okay, and that gets us from 3 o'clock to 4:10. So that's 40 minutes. Oh, I'm sorry, 3:30 to 4:10. 40 total minutes. Right, and that's day 1 practice plan. Okay, so I'm going to go to the comments and see if there are any questions. Now again, I'm going to send everyone. I'm going to send an email with a copy of this to everyone on my email list. So even if you missed that, everyone who is here, hopefully everyone's here is getting my emails. But I'll make sure that I send this out in an email. You guys can download it. Okay. So let me go back up here to questions. Deanna, so question, could you add the screen and roll with this part of practice plan 2? One with a pull-up jump shot off the screen and then hitting the 5 on the roll. Absolutely. So you are talking in I know I talked about that. I think it's right here. Point screen, hit the screen or popping back, shoot the 3. Okay, here's the next one. Yep. So right here is where it would be. So Deanna, so let me just do this real quick. Let me. Can you guys see that? And you scroll down. Drop these guys down here a little bit. So this way right here. Did I spell that right? I must have. All right, this is the deliberate way of running this. So you can also, when you do this ball screen and down screen action, you can have 5 minutes where you, again, if you want to focus on attacking off this ball screen and roll, is you can ball screen and roll. So you can ball screen and let's see, drive and pull up, jump shot. You can and then the other 5 minutes you can ball screen and roll, hit the 5 rolling. Absolutely. So when you're looking at this area right here, I mean, that's a great question. It's again, you have to look at your personnel, and that's bright. You look at your personnel, and what part of the, I mean, this is how I think this is where you run the offense the best way that you can for your kids. Big mistake that I made my first 2 years, especially my first 2 years, putting this offense in by myself. One of the big mistakes that I made was I tried to run the offense the same way I saw the Air Force run it on TV. Big mistake. Okay, I did not match the offense to my players as well as I could be, as well as I could have. So this is how I would be a little bit more up-tempo, a little bit more aggressive. Let's see. If you have playmakers, that's the playmaker offense. Okay, is off of that ball at the point screen, that ball screen, drift screen. That ball screen, you're going to try to drive and score right off that right away. A lot of teams do that. They don't even do the drift screen. They just get off that ball screen. They play. Okay, so that absolutely you can do it that way. But you have to be careful. Once you go so far with that, it might be hard to run it as a continuity. But maybe you teach this first. Who asked that again? Was it Deanna? So you could teach these two here first. Let me take that away again. You can teach these two first. And then on day 2, day 3, then come teach all of this up here the deliberate way so that you can run it as a continuity. Okay, so you might spend 2 days teaching players, hey, this is how we're going to ball screen, and if you can attack, attack. And if you can hit the 5-man rolling, hit the 5-man rolling. Okay, but then you learn that, but then you say, okay, if you don't have the drive off of that ball screen, okay, let's not force it, but let's hit the player off the down screen, let's get off the drift, and let's get back into these down here. Does that make sense? Deanna, does that answer your question? So what you want to think about the logical way that you want to install it, so you install it in the correct order. I feel like I'm getting a little deep, but hopefully that answers that question. Brandon, so question, is 5 minutes enough time for each one when you're starting to teach us? Good question. I would go to 7. If you don't think 5 is enough, if your players are maybe not as skilled as you would like them to be, you might do 7. And you might not get to the drift stuff at all on day 1. Okay, and that's okay. If you can't get to the drift stuff on day 1, that's fine. All right, you can get to the drift stuff on day 2, and that's perfectly okay. So you kind of have to take a balance of, what are you installing? How many practices do you get before your first game, first scrimmage? What do you have to have in by then? So you kind of have to stretch them out a little bit. That's why in the members area, that's why I've got 7 practice plans. So you can see how aggressive I get putting the whole offense in. But yes, absolutely. And if you spend 7 minutes, and if you feel like they got it in 5, boom, move on. Because now what you're going to do in day 2, without me doing day 2, this is, so let me come back up here. So day 2, guess what, this entry, I'm going to do it for 4 minutes. Or maybe 3 minutes. I think I'll do it for 4 on day 2, just so we really make sure we get this right. And then on day 3, I'm going to do this for 3 minutes. Day 4, I'm going to do it for 1 minute. Or day 4, I'll probably take it out completely. And we'll just skip directly down to point screen away. We'll skip down to this next one, and this one's going to be 2-3 minutes. Okay, so every time that we, every day that we advance, at the very end of the day, I'll take my practice plan. I'll look at my assistant coach and say, okay, let's go step by step with everything. Do we need more or less time on this? Oh, well, we need more time on that. Okay, great. What about this one? More or less time or the same? Keep that one the same. More or less on this one? Less. More or less on this one? I think we can do that in 3 minutes instead of 5. I think they got a good handle on that. Maybe they need one more day with that. So this is going to be a day-by-day conversation you have with your coach. Do it right after practice while you're fresh. Okay, good, very good question. Question, are footwork drills broke down in the package? Yes. Now, I don't have video of the footwork drills broken down, but Mark, we do break down a Richmond practice video, and we break down my practice. And you do see us going through a lot of the skill work in the practice session, in the skill session before we get to the practice stuff. So yeah, that yes, you do. Eli, can you run Princeton say low post effectively without having the time to put in every counter? I only have time for 1 series, but might not be able to get through each. Yeah, so, and this is really important. If you're going to run point series, put in point screen away first. Get that one in. Okay? Now, if you're going to run chin or open, that's a good decision. Those two go well together. If you're going to run low post, I would only do low post corner or low post cut or low post screen away, but it depends on what the next thing is as well. So if you're going to run low post in the point series, I would run low post corner. It's the easiest one to do, and then you get into point. Or if you're running low post in the chin, I would run low post screen away, or I would run low, and then we have a couple other rabbit holes that I can take you down on, but that I don't want to lose you. Okay, but yeah, again, if you're teaching the point series and the chin series, don't teach chin and then teach point screen away, point over, and point down the middle, all like that. Just 2 point down the middle, or just 2 point screen away and chin. Until they master that, then start adding on the next one. Okay, really important, really good questions. Tom said, my understanding is you start from the beginning, a half court until you get to what you are now emphasizing in the plan, then replace the next team. How many reps can you get with 2 groups? A lot. I'm going to show you a video, Tom. I tell you what, let's just work. I'm going to keep answering your questions. These are really good questions. I'm going to show you a video of us running a practice. So I'll get to that here in a second. Mark, question: can you follow to the drift or 5-man roll on a read? Can you follow to the drift or 5-man roll a read? So like on that ball screen and roll, or like off of the drift, can the 5-man slip? Absolutely. And I would rep that. I would rep that in the order that that you see it happening. Okay, if we hit the drift and you do all, what I would say is if you hit the drift and you go through all the 5 options, what happens if you hit the drift and the 5-man hard hedges or the 5-man flat hedges? Slip 5-man, okay? And then you can get the 5-man from, so it's going to look like this, off the drift and the low post over here. So again, these are all different ways to score. What happens if X5 tries to hedge? Boom, 5-man slip, you got him. Rep that. Put that in your practice plan. Okay? What happens if we hit the 1 and X1 is chasing and X5 goes like that? Slip. Boom. Practice that. And then you set that up. Eventually, once you get a little bit more advanced, you set this up 5. You do this 5-on-5, this exact same thing 5-on-5. So eventually in my practice plans, I'll do something 5-on-0 for 3 minutes. And then for 5 minutes, I'll do it 5-on-5. And we'll work on the exact same action, the exact same option. I'll put the defense where I want them so that we can simulate the action that we're going to see. Okay, but yeah, put those in there. If that is something you want them to focus on, put that in there. Now, some of your players will start to see that sometimes you don't put stuff in. You'll go through the practice plan like I put it on here. But then as you're practicing and playing, you're going to see things happen. Hey, by the way, maybe you never taught this slip. So you hit here. Maybe you never taught, maybe the 5-man hedge, but your 5-man never moved. But you start to see this in games. And you're like, okay, I said, we need to go back to our practice plan. Now we need to talk about this. Okay, and that's how you make adjustments with your offense. Okay, great question. Deanna, yes, perfect. Thank you. Warner said emphasis on screen away. Screener goes the elbow. Cutter brings defender to the screener before the back cut. Yep. Screener does not headhunt and go to the defender. No, you don't headhunt and go right to the defender. You want to go, when you're setting these screens, when I'm setting this screen, we're not, the offense is actually more about cutting than screening. I just want to put my defender in an awkward situation where I just want my defender to make a choice. That's all I want. I don't care if they deny us or if they sag. I just want to see what they do. I just want to be able to see, I want to have the vision to see, are they denying us or are they sagging? If they're sagging, I'm going to use it. If they're denying us, I'm going to go back door. Okay, the closer I get to the screen, all right, the closer I get to the screen, the more of a decision that defender has to make. Boom, are they going this way? Okay, I'm going that way. Okay, are they coming down? Okay, I'm going up. Are they playing me tight? Okay, I'm going to curl. Okay, that's just basketball. Good question. Julius, can you do first 5 minutes of day 1 open series? Not today. Not today, I can't. Because I'll be here another hour. But they are in the... They are the first 5 minutes of the open series. I would just dribble and go back door. Open. You're in the open series. Take one dribble. Boom. Hit the back door. It's the first thing you're going to do. Do that for 5 minutes. Eli, to me, Princeton is great when counters are in. Would low post corner alone work well enough to be effective, even if that's the only thing you want? Low post is a great offense. You can run low post as a continuity. But you need more steps. You need a little bit of a rabbit hole to figure that out. I would say low post corner by itself would not be, because what happens if you can't throw it to the 5? You have to have a next thing. What happens if you throw it to the 5 and they can't score? You have to have a next thing. Low post is probably the biggest hub that you can get into everything from low post. So if you're going to run low post, I would make sure that you want to choose either point or chin. I would choose chin because it's the easiest. And run like low post screen away, because low post screen away gets in the chin easiest. I know I didn't talk about that rabbit hole, okay? Let's see. I'm going to go to Facebook. On the post feed coming, this is Eric on Facebook. On the post feed coming on ball screen, post feed coming on ball screen, is it okay if the opposite B-man will be on the weak side elbow for possible spacing? Looks like a banana high-low formation between 4 and a post. I'm a little out of context, I think, where you're talking, Eric. On a post feed coming off the ball screen, is it okay if the opposite will be on the weak side elbow? I like him on the wing. I think I like him on the wing, Eric. But you can once you get into practice, again, this doesn't have to be so structured. Once you get into practice, you can start off teaching it this way, and then you can say, hey, I see where the defense is going. Let's bring this kid in here and just see what it looks like. I have this real open, I have this real good relationship with my players, where I try to. I say, hey, listen, I'm going to try this, and if you guys have a problem with it, let's talk about it. And I'll have players come and say, Coach, I think you're reaching. I don't think that one's going to do it. And I'll say, let's try one more time. And then we'll do it. And I'm like, okay, I see exactly what you're talking about. Let's scrap that completely. All right, you guys are right. I'm wrong. And let's try this. Sometimes I'll get into practice on, let's try this. Do you guys like that? You do? All right, let's do that. Or you don't like that? Okay, I've got this one. Let's try this. And you can experiment a little bit. Okay? Phil, UConn women have put this in their picture. Okay, cool. All right, awesome. Okay. Eli, which series works best on its own from your experience? Chin. Chin works the best on its own. Okay. The practice plan samples. Jay Bonner, go to hoopsandDetail.com/library, and you can download the blank practice plan. I'm going to email a copy of this one that we just did. Okay, I'm going to email everyone a copy of this one when we're done. So if you're not getting my emails, let me know. But everyone here should get my email. Probably the way the tech is set up, some people I'm probably really annoying. You might be getting 2 emails from me because I might have you on 2 different lists. But I really wanted to make sure no one missed an email because of this cool event. I promise after Sunday I will stop emailing you for at least a week, maybe a few days, and then I'll scatter them out a lot more. I really don't want to annoy you, but I really want you to get this information. And if I'm ever emailing you guys too much, just opt out. Not gonna hurt my feelings. Just opt out, or you can do like a smart email list where you put me in another folder, so I'm not, every time I email you, it goes into a folder that says Coach Wheeler or Princeton or whatever. So, okay, awesome. Do you guys want to see the members area? That was the next thing I was going to show you. Let me show you the members area next. Let's do that. Boom. Okay, can you guys see that? Oops, I just messed up. Okay, I'm going to have to get this window in that screen. Apologies, I just need to center this thing for you guys. Boom. Does that look good on the window, on the screen? Okay, good. So this is the members area. I'm not a fan of the way I've got this colors, but they're color coded so you can kind of see what's what. I promise I will always be trying to improve everything that I do. But here's the playbook tab. This is the digital package tab. Here I've got another Facebook group that is only for coaches in the members area. Here you just go here and you click this button and you go download it. It's that simple, and it downloads it. You can print it off. It's yours. Just don't sell it or pass it away for free again. I would not give my assistant coaches copies of the playbook. So you guys do get this. Hold on to it. No, don't pass it around. I'll come after you. Here's the breakdowns. Here's the practice plans. Basically, you click on the button, practice plans download, and I think there should be 19 in this. It might be too big a file. Hopefully this is the 19 one. Yeah, it's a blank one. Oh, there we go. There's practice plan number 1. This is my low post practice plan number 1. This is my overall offense. So, this is how I do my practice plans. There's practice plan 2, there's practice plan 3, and it just goes on and on. Okay, but you can download all of them. Skills and drills. So here's one. Someone was asking about the skill work. Again, I don't have video of the skill work. I do have something where I'm actually working on recording players on the floor, me actually teaching players on the floor for 10 to 12 hours. I'm actually going to be recording that hopefully in June. And then I will have some video and something separate. But basically, here's all the drills kind of broken down. But these are some of the ones that we do a lot. Okay, but this is all included. Eventually down here, I talk about the post moves. our one-on-one backdoor into the post, 2-on-2 backdoor into the post. So all of this stuff is in here. You can just download those. This blue tabs are the video playbook. So if you just wanted to go look at the low series phases, I'm going to do low post actions because I actually talked about those. And you wanted to see low post corner, there you go. Low post cut, there you go. Low post screen away, there you go. Broken down. So you see how it's very pinpointed. You don't have to, like if you go into in the whiteboard sessions and you want to learn the core 4, okay, this is if I hit play, that's a 2-hour and 40-minute video of me teaching the entire core 4 of basically what I did. And this is 2 hours and 40 minutes of me teaching basically what I did in 45 minutes yesterday. Okay. And so I'm going a lot deeper with this. But if you didn't want to go all the way through this and you just wanted to focus on one thing, here's chin. Hey, coach talked about something about a strong side chin. Go to chin. Here, look at the drift actions, how to score on all the drift actions. You can be a lot. This is basically a video for every page in the playbook. Here's the whiteboard sessions. All right, all the way through. This number 3. This was, I think, my practice. Oh no, this wasn't my practice. It's not a film room. Okay, this is actually us installing the offense in practice. Here's the film room. So here's one of my practices. Here's all of the Air Force Austin P. Here's Georgetown versus Duke, Air Force versus Duke. And basically, I just sit in here and I'll narrate and we'll watch plays over and over again. I'll break down exactly what they're doing, why they're doing it. You know, there's point screen away, boom, back door. They got into the open series there. They were trying to get into open, but Duke really, I tell you what, Georgetown was a lot more athletic, but Duke really bothered them with their pressure. Okay, here's where I'm going to have the masterclass. This recordings of this. Here's the breakout sessions. This is the one I want to show you right now. This is, okay, can you guys see that? Here's some video. So actually I need to push a couple buttons to make sure you guys can hear it. I don't want to turn the volume up too loud, but the masterclass, this recording of this breakout session. This is the one I want to show you right now. This is, you guys see that? Here's the video. So actually I need to mute something. I don't want to turn the volume up too loud. Okay, so here's one of my practices. And we are going to go right into the offense. So let me see if I can make this big for you. Boom, okay. So here's one of our practices. This is actually my 4th year as a head coach. We had graduated 7 seniors before this season. So I've got one returning starter, one returning varsity contributor back from the year before. That's the kid on the right wing with the red cheeks. He's my only returning player, and you're not going to recognize anything that we're doing offensively here. Well, you might a little bit. That looked like that's kind of point screen away, but we get into it a different way. We call this our break it series. But you can see how the green group is out and the white group is in. Now that group's done. Here we go. Boom. See how we chop our feet and screen and cut? There's a screen over the top, and we're just hitting the back doors. Now these players, this is the end of the year. They know the offense so well. I don't care what decision they make. Hey, go point screen away. I don't care. Go point over the top. I don't care. Dribble at a guy back door. I don't care. But at the end of the season, this is what your guys they'll be able to make decisions on their own, and everyone will know what they're doing. In the beginning of the year, you have to be so structured. You can only do one thing at a time. Okay. Now, once it becomes a reflex for them, and once they really understand it, I'm sorry if that's choppy. I apologize, but I tell you what, if it's choppy, I'll make a one where you guys can see this a little bit better. It's not choppy on my end at all, but I think it's choppy on your end. But one group's out, one group's in. Oh, and but you see now, I would probably be a little bit more. I would like them to back it up and be a little bit more. Game-like when they get into it, but there's a ball screen, drift screen, there's a point screen away. Drop it down to the 5. When we do this 5-on-0, then we'll go do it 5-on-5. Okay, wasn't ready for the back cut, but you see how hard we're cutting, how hard we're screening, we're chopping our feet. Everyone's on one page. And again, this is very advanced. And I tell you, right there on the floor, I count 1 sophomore, 3 freshmen, and a junior that was on that last rep. So these are actually young kids. I only have, I think, 3 seniors in the gym. Are there 3 seniors? One. See, there's Connor, there's Dave, there's Brandon, there's Hayden. 4 seniors in the gym. Oh, and Hank. But Hank didn't play as a junior. He didn't play basketball the year before, so he's kind of like a junior this year. Okay, but then we make an adjustment. So here's the next thing I want them to work on. Okay, they messed it up. I messed it up. Fix it. Next group, go. Next group, go. Next group, go. Next group, go. You know, I want them to, I don't want to spend, they mess it up. If they knew what they did, I'm like, get out, next group in. And then when that group comes back on, do the same thing that you just did and figure it out. Okay, that's part of their responsibility. Now you see me step in there as a defender so that they can, now I over-exaggerate this, but so that they can see what I want them to see what the defense is going to do if the back door is going to be open. So I'm exaggerating that so they can see that back door. Okay, now eventually we'll start doing this in progressions 5-on-5. Okay, Craig, do I hold seminars where we could watch you teach Princeton Offense? Not yet, but there's stuff. I've got other stuff. Again, so okay, I'll just kind of tell you. So if you guys do get into the membership, I'll just kind of tell you this right now. If you guys do get the membership, I am building another course that is separate from the workshop. It's going to be 10 to 12 hours. We've already had a couple coaches buy it. That bought it today and last night. But there is another course where I'm going to spend 10 to 12 hours teaching the entire offense, 2 players in a gym, and I'm going to have 2 or 3 cameras recording. It's going to be a professional recorded video of me actually teaching the skill work, the whole offense, start to finish. Everything that we do in the playbook, everything that we do on board, everything that we do in the 8-hour in the big workshop, we're going to do X's and O's on the floor, 5-on-0, 5-on-5, and that's going to be something that's separate. And if you do get the if you do buy the program here, you will have the option to see that. It's not done yet, but it is because of COVID. I have not been able to record it because of COVID, the in-person clinic, the in-coaching clinic, but that is hopefully going to be, I've got like 3 or 4 schools that say, yeah, come do it at my school. So 3 of them are local. One of my buddies in Texas say, if you come down to Texas, you can use my players and record whatever you want to record. And so can you come watch that filming? You know, so, oh man, there's so much I want to tell you guys, but just not quite ready for. Do you guys like, is that film kind of choppy? Is that this practice video? So, let me pop back over here. So anyway, oh yeah, you guys are, there's so much I want to, there's so much more that's in the works right now that I have not gotten to. Some of you guys have seen Coach Collins with Teach Hoops pop in and out of Facebook and YouTube. Him and I are actually working on a couple things. I can't tell you any details about it, but it's going to be really awesome. But Princeton wise, I'm not going anywhere to do clinics in person right now, but I am working on a course for this June. If you do purchase the members area, you will see what that is. And I will offer that to you if you guys want to jump in and get that as well. So we've already had a couple coaches get that. But because of COVID, I was going to record it last year. It was last March I was going to record it, and then COVID hit, and then we could not get players in a gym at all. They were sending kids home. I was going to do it with middle school kids, whatever kids I could get, and we couldn't do it. But that's separate. That's going to be a separate thing. But if you guys do purchase the program, you guys will see that. So I think let me just. You guys have any questions? You guys have any questions at all? This will be a good time for questions. We are wrapping up. We are wrapping up. So if you guys do want to get the program, let me put the. Oh, that's not it. Okay, boom. So it's. I can't talk and type at the same time. Sorry. Okay, if you guys do want to, if you guys do want to purchase the workshop, it's $497. It closes Sunday. Sunday, I'm closing it and taking it down. And but if you guys want to purchase that, go to PrincetonOffenseSecrets.com/secrets. I'm going to type that into the members area, but I want you guys to see this. This is what the order page looks like. There we go. Okay, so when you go to the order page, this is exactly what it looks like. All you do is you fill in your stuff here. I'm not techie, but I like the tech. This is very secure and all that good stuff. It kind of gives you a little bit reminder on what's in it on the side. Here's the time ticker. In 3 days, 2 hours, 10 minutes, and 26 seconds, it is going to be taken down and closed down. That's Sunday at midnight. Here's a reminder of everything that's in it. The hours and stuff are not updated, but you guys get the idea. You guys have seen what's in it. So all of this is in there. You can get it for one charge of $497 or $137 a month for 4 months, which that I'm going to be taking away eventually. If you want extra one-on-one help, if you want me to help you build out your practice plans, build out your playbook, there's a little ticker down here that you can tick. This one-time offer. It's a jumpstart program that I used to do separately, or I used to do that I do separately than from the rest of the stuff. But once you go to PrincetonOffenseSecrets.com/secrets, it's going to take you. Here's the order page. Okay, and then this is where you go to order. When you go to the after you order and go to the next page, you'll create your account, and then you guys can. When you create your account, it gets immediate access to all the stuff. It gives you immediate access to everything, and if you there's a 30-day money-back guarantee so for whatever reason you get in there and you say, look, you are lying. There's not that much stuff in there, and you don't think that I deliver what I promised, then there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. And there, I wholeheartedly, I back everything that I do, and I hope you guys have seen the value over the last 3 days. I think we've certainly crossed 6 hours of content, 6 hours of teaching here. So, do you guys have any questions at all about the program, about the offense? Again, I flew through. I didn't get to. There are a lot of questions coaches had that, but I could not get to just because it would either take us down a rabbit hole, or it would either take us down a rabbit hole, or I just didn't have time to get to it. There just wasn't enough time in 3 days. That's why I put together this program, because to learn the entire thing, it just takes more than 6 hours. It really does. To do it the way that I think you need to do it, to run it the way that it's going to best fit your program. Okay. There we go. I'm going to put the link in the chat. So if you guys did want to get this, again, it closes down Sunday at midnight. I'll send you a few emails over the weekend to kind of remind you what's going on. But if you want to get in, it's www.PrincetonOffenseSecrets.com/secrets, plural. And then you get everything that we talked about. You'll actually get the replays of this 3-day masterclass as well. It's going to be in there, but you get playbooks, the practice plans, the whole 9 yards. So, you guys have any questions? We've been going here for, I think, 2.5 hours. Yeah, just about 2.5 hours now. You guys are awesome. You guys are troopers. I bet everyone that's still watching, and there's about 100 still watching, something like that. That you guys are just troopers start to finish. You guys are really good. So, Mark, a question: have you tried using coaches and managers passing to the other options for shots on the same rep? Yeah. So if again, do not teach the offense 3-on-0, 4-on-0, but you can turn it into shooting drills and passing drills. You can use managers or assistant coaches as extra passes. So you get one kid, you get your 5-man hitting the back door, and then you got the coach hitting the guy popping for a 3. Absolutely. And the breakdown, in one of the breakdown PDFs, I actually have those drawn out for the point series, the chin series. I've got some of that stuff drawn out, 3-on-0, 4-on-0. But when you do that, Mark, you do that in your skill session of practice. Do not waste time in the 35, 40 minutes of actual teaching the offense. You do that in the skill side of practice. So if you're going to do a shooting drill and you want that shooting drill, do that in the skill part of practice. But yeah, you can do that 3-on-0. I would do a 3-0. 4-0, then you're getting a lot of stuff going on. But absolutely. Absolutely. Any more questions? Any more comments? Yeah, Craig, if I were holding a clinic, can you come watch that film? Send me a message. Craig, where are you? Send me a message or send me an email. If you guys have any questions, send me an email, coach@hoopsindetail.com. If you are seriously considering getting the workshop, getting this master package of all this stuff, the two packages, but you have questions, I am willing to set up a Zoom to answer any questions about the program. So if you want to chat for 10-15 minutes on a Zoom so I can answer any questions, I can answer questions in an email. I can answer questions if we want to do a one-on-one Zoom. Let me know, but let me know ASAP because I know. I just found out yesterday that Easter is Sunday. I just found out yesterday that that's going on, so Northern California. So, but Sunday at midnight, everything closes down. So if you have questions or if you need an invoice to send to your athletic director or your booster club, send me an email, coach@hoopsindetail.com. Send me a Facebook message if you're on Facebook. Just message me inside the Facebook group, and then I will get you anything that you need to jump in. But it closes down. Sunday at midnight, closes down. I do not know when I will open it back up. Okay, I had a couple ideas, but I just, because of everything else going on this summer, I just don't know. Again, like I said, we're going to be recording the on-court course in June, so I don't know when I will open this back up. So Sunday at midnight, if you want to get in, this is the time to get in for sure. Okay, and this is a lifetime thing. You have this forever. This is not something that you have to pay yearly for. I know a lot of programs out there you have to pay like $300 a year to stay in their membership or $400 a year. This is a one-time thing. You got it forever. Okay, absolutely. Douglas, a question. Link for the 21 pages. Yeah, link for 21 pages. So it's hoopsindetail.com/21 pages. Let me put that in the comments as well. So go download that playbook, the 21 pages. And if you think that's awesome and you want like 75 more pages, okay, get into the program, and the big playbook's like 90 some pages. All right. Any other questions? If you guys have questions, I'll stay on. If not, you guys have been awesome. So I think we went on for 3 hours last night, so 2.5 hours tonight, so that's 5.5, and then 2.5 hours the first night. We've been like 8 hours in 3 days. You guys are awesome. I really appreciate it. If you guys are in the Facebook group, just post questions in the Facebook group. I'll answer them the best I can without going down a rabbit hole. Okay, the Facebook group you're in now is not for rabbit holes, but it's for. But I'll help you out as much as I can there. And if you want to really get in and learn the whole thing, I think this is the best resource out there. It really is. But if you guys, Doug thinks this is great, awesome. If you guys have any questions, just let me know. Email me with any questions, coach@hoopsindetail.com, or hit me up on Facebook. All right? Okay, coaches, you guys have a great weekend. Have a great Good Friday tomorrow if that's your thing. Have a great Easter Sunday if that's your thing. And I will see you guys on the next one. Thanks, Coach.